Hello, everybody, and welcome to Rhode Island here at the Ryan Center in Kingston. UMass Basketball getting ready for a matchup against the Rhode Island Rams. Cam Sibert joined by Nathan Strauss. And Nathan, it's been a little while, almost 11 months since the last time we got to cover a game in person for UMass Basketball. Just describe some of the feelings right now for you.
Absolutely. I mean, for you and I, it was actually almost a year exactly at the Mullen Center. For you, I mean, I'm sure you're feeling all kinds of emotions right now. Last time you covered a UMass game live, you were at the Barclays Center getting pulled off the court at the start of the COVID pandemic. So it's definitely great to be here. The Ryan Center, super excited to be here. Glad they're hosting us. We should have a pretty high-quality game tonight.
Absolutely, and yeah, I mean, you talk about how much the world has changed since that game at the A10 tournament in the Barclays Center, like I say, about a month ago, or about a year ago. But here we are, a long ways down the road, getting ready for more UMass basketball. Just have to be thankful for the opportunity as we get ready to look at this matchup. Of course, coming into this game, the Rams 9-10 overall, 6-6 in A10 play. Of course, the big storyline for this one, Trey Mitchell and Noah Fernandez for UMass will not be available to play. It looks like Fats Russell will go for the Rams. We did see against Fordham what that looked like to not have Trey Mitchell, to not have Noah Fernandez out on the court if you're UMass. They do come out with a win by 6 points in that one, but it was certainly sloppy by most metrics. What were your thoughts on that last game against Fordham?
It's pretty hard to evaluate that game because we know Fordham is not exactly the best team to use as a measuring stick. Just 2 wins on the season, although both of those wins have been against teams that are significantly more impressive than they just came off of a big win against LaSalle under 24 hours ago, and of course that Fordham team also beat Dayton. But UMass, I would say they held their own. Obviously, they used a 7-man and 8-man rotation at times. They should be up to a 9-man rotation tonight. They get DeAndre Dominguez back. No minutes restriction tonight for Ronnie DeGray, according to Coach McCall. I mean, at the end of the day, a win is a win, and for UMass, it's their best start to a conference play in a number of years. A win tonight would give UMass their best start since the 06-07 season. Certainly signs that things are trending up, but there is certainly the worry that things could come crashing down in an instant. And meanwhile, Rhode Island, they're on a 2-game losing streak of their own, coming off of back-to-back losses to Dayton and a nail-biter against VCU. On a national TV, for a national TV audience, how fired up do you think both these teams are going to be?
Well, the national audience, of course, plays a big role. We asked Coach McCall about it the other day. The rivalry that has become between these two teams, both obviously New England teams, and the last few times they've played, the ending of each contest has resulted in a little bit of a scrum out on the court. It's funny, too, because I was actually here a year ago at this building for that first matchup where Trey Mitchell, at the time, went for his career-high 30 points. Like I say, there was a scuffle at the end of the game. Both coaches were kind of pushing away that they were even involved in it, even though the video evidence showed it. So, I mean, Coach McCall didn't shy away from it when we asked him, right? He said, look, we realize this is a rivalry game. It helps the players get up. We're going to just thrive off that. It's one, like we say, where you don't have 2 of your most important players. It's not going to be easy. But you still got to come out and compete, right?
Absolutely. And I mean, I don't think any coach minds a little bit of that fire. I mean, there was a great image after the most recent game, which ended on a perplexing missed layup for URI that gave UMass the win in overtime. But of Michael Mitchell hugging it out with Trey Mitchell, while the rest of the team sort of, got all fired up in the center of the court. But let's hope that we avoid any of those theatrics tonight. It should be a really intensely competitive game and a very different game than that first one at the Mullen Center.
Yeah, and like you said, there's like a little bit of a fight starting to break out, and then Trey Mitchell comes over with nothing but love for his opponent, gives a hug to Mekhi Mitchell because it was such a great battle, really, in that first matchup. UMass comes out with the win. 80-78 was the final score. It goes to overtime. Mekhi Mitchell finished that game with 23 points. Trey Mitchell finished it with 16, so it was a battle underneath, but Trey Mitchell was not the scoring leader for UMass. It was Ronnie DeGray, if you'll remember, who was making plays all throughout the game, goes for 21 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. It was the one of 3 The 1-3 that he made out of 3 attempts that ended up being huge in overtime, kind of pushed UMass to the win. And we know how important Ronnie has been this year for UMass. Really a glue guy in the description of the word. Fills in all the holes, but tonight is going to have his role majorly increased without Trey Mitchell.
Absolutely. Ryan Gray was on a bit of a minutes restriction on Wednesday night against Fordham. He played just under 20 minutes, I believe, in that one, but he should be set to play, 30 to 35 tonight. He'll look to improve on his season numbers of just about 9 points and 5 rebounds a game. Another player who will be seeing an increased role tonight compared to that first meeting is TJ Weeks. Only played 13 minutes, but he put up some major numbers the other day. His first double-double of the season against Fordham. If he can start hitting shots early, I think that might be UMass's best chance of success.
Yeah, he didn't necessarily shoot the ball extremely well in that game. Like you said, he gets his first career double-double, but once he realized his shots weren't falling, made more of an emphasis at getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line, obviously crucial things in a very tightly contested contest that the Fordham game was. We're here in the Ryan Center, the Rams jogging out onto the court. Fats Russell was dealing with an injury, but he is dressed right now, has been warming up. It looks like he will be ready to go. And just to kind of give you an explanation, obviously this isn't the typical setup for us when we broadcast a game. We're coming to you on YouTube. You can see us right now. I think once the game starts, we might throw the graphic back up on the screen just so we can stay focused, and during intermissions, we'll show you our faces to kind of talk to you a little bit. But, I mean, just looking at the stadium, too, I know you can't see it watching from home, how different every stadium really looks with the COVID era, and you got the cutouts of fans and stuff in the stands. But, I mean, it just looks so different from last year when I was here, and it took me a second to realize, like, just how much this place has changed. It looks unlike it normally would, I would say.
Absolutely, and it's definitely a shame. We know how packed this building can get. We know how packed the Mullen Center can get for these two games. One of my fondest memories of UMass Mullen Center in a contentious game between UMass and URI last year that I believe was the last home game of the year for UMass, in which the Trey Mitchell foul, non-foul occurred. But looking ahead to tonight, why don't we go to the starting lineups for both teams as we get set for the official shoot-around right now. Starting lineups have been updated. For UMass, it's going to look pretty similar to the other night. Javon Garcia is going to be the primary ball handler. Carl Pierre and TJ Weeks in the backcourt. Ryan DeGray and Mark Gasparini. Uncle Mark, as his teammates call him, will comprise the front court.
Yeah, that's that lineup we did get to see the other day against Fordham. And I mean, you look at Javon filling in there, obviously a very capable ball handling guard, not necessarily at the caliber of Noah Fernandes in terms of a floor general, I guess you might say, but he's going to see his role increase again tonight. He was the scoring leader in that game against Fordham for UMass, had 14 points. Javon, a player who likes to slash, get to the rim with his ball handling, and score when he gets there. I think he's going to have a big game today. He's going to have to if UMass wants a chance in this one. And then again, Carl Pierre and TJ Weeks, these guards, they really get more of the light shined on them in a game like this when Trey Mitchell's out.
Absolutely, and another crucial thing about Javon Garcia is his ability to get to the free throw line. One of the top players in the country at drawing fouls, and UMass, they're ninth in the country. They get 24% of their points from the charity stripe. Having the ability to get those free points, especially in a game where two of their leading scorers aren't going to be on the court, UMass, incredibly, is going to be missing their leading scorer, assister, rebounder, and steals and blocks leaders.
Almost every statistical category.
Yeah, every major category between Noah Fernandes and Trey Mitchell will be with them out. So, I mean, someone needs to step up and fill those shoes. I also look to Ryan DeGray. Again, one of the most efficient players in the entire country, 67th in the nation in true shooting percentage. So, could be a breakout game for those two freshmen.
Right. When you hear that, anytime you're playing without all those different statistical category leaders, it's not going to be easy. Like we say, we've said it a couple times, Trey Mitchell, Noah Fernandes unavailable for UMass in this game, and we mentioned the starting lineup for UMass. We'll take a look at it for Rhode Island. Jeremy Shepard getting the start at the true point guard. Alan Bertrand and Ishmael Leggett will be to his sides. Antoine Walker and Mikkel Mitchell will fill out the paint. And not the Antoine Walker that you might think of. No, this is the URI Antoine Walker. But I mentioned Mikkel Mitchell and the performance he had against Trey last time. He's not going to have Trey guarding him this time. It'll be Uncle Mark Gasparini, who although didn't do anything thunderous in that game against Fordham, just did his job, got things done. I think he finished with 9 points and 5 rebounds, filled the role well. And he even said it after the game. Like, the first question we asked said, look, I know it. I'm not Trey Mitchell. but he understands that he did exactly what he had to do. What do you see? Does Mark's role have to increase tonight, or is it similar to Fordham, where he just has to do enough to help UMass get this win?
Well, one of the things that UMass did defensively against Fordham is basically every time Joel Soriano had the ball in the low post, Coach McCall would send a double team, forcing Soriano to either take a contested shot or pass to a cutter. The thing is, it did not always work, and Fordham did get some pretty good shots off in that game. They only shot 21% from behind the arc. URI is a much better team than Fordham. They have much better individual players than Fordham. So I'll be curious to see how UMass responds individually in the low post. I will say that the UMass press has looked the best it's looked under Coach McCall in the last couple of games. And even though we've only seen 5 games for UMass in the calendar year 2021, they've won 4 or 5. And were it not for those COVID-enforced pauses, we could have a far larger sample size. But tonight is certainly the biggest test of the year so far, and going into a week in which they'll be tested against A10 favorites St. Bonaventure as well as Dayton.
Yeah.
This is a game that feels like a real measuring stick for an injury-depleted team.
Absolutely, and like you mentioned, coming up next for the Minutemen, Dayton after this, and then St. Bonaventure, 2 of the top teams in the A10. St. Bonaventure, number 1 in the A10. But I mean, you talk about players being out and the impact that it might have on the game. I think you make a great point with the press defense. We might see it even more here tonight. And when you see that Fats Russell isn't in the lineup, the primary ball handler for the Rams, that too has to be a green light for UMass to go ahead and use that press defense, like you say, that has been so successful. Because Coach McCall always talks about his philosophy and trying to get more possessions in the game, forcing the tempo on your opponent, and letting your guards play more freely, especially with Trey Mitchell being out your primary guy on offense. That's what you'd expect from UMass in this game. Is they go through warm-ups here, they're running through lines. Javon Garcia showing off some of the bounce, a windmill. He's only like 6'1". I almost just got out of my chair watching that. And
yeah, I mean, Javon Garcia is such an athletic guard. The Ohio native had high hopes for him coming into this year. He's really growing into the role we thought he'd have. And he's only played 30% of the minutes available at point guard this year. But that number is going to continue to increase. And, if there's any positive to injuries, it's that other guys have a chance to step up and impress. And especially if you're a freshman like him or like Ryan Degree III, or even someone who is getting used to an expanded role like Debaji Walker.
Yeah, absolutely. And, for the past couple of weeks, UMass has been dealing with even more players being unavailable, with DeAndre Dominguez and Cairo McCrory being away from the team. We hadn't gotten specified reasons exactly why. They are back. Colton Mitchell as well dealt with a concussion. He's back today. What about those 3 players, and which one, or maybe of all of them, do you see having an impact today, right before we get to the national anthem and take a break?
I think it could be a big game for Colton Mitchell, especially if we see Fats Russell get into the lineup. If UMass is playing in man, Colton is a very good on-ball defender. We saw that a lot last year. From what Coach McCall's been saying, it seems like he's really upped the intensity in practice as of late. But Kyron McCrory, another guy who can really become a secondary or tertiary scorer for this team in the absence of Noah and Trey. It'll be really interesting to see the rotations Coach McCall uses tonight. I think there was a question yesterday in media, maybe from Howard Herman, about how these injuries and the COVID pause have affected those rotations. We'll certainly get to see how he matches up tonight. If there's any positives as well, Fats Russell being on a bit of a minute restriction gives UMass a little bit more freedom on the defensive side of things. But we step aside here for just a minute before anthems.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break here for the national anthem, but just give us a couple minutes. We'll be right back for the tip-off. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to UMass Basketball here on WMUA Sports' YouTube channel this time. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Alrighty, folks, and welcome back inside the Ryan Center down in Kingston, Rhode Island. Cam Sibert, Nathan Strauss here on YouTube.com, bringing you the live stream here of this basketball game between the Minutemen and the Rhode Island Rams. We're just a few seconds away from the opening tip. And I'll tell you what, Nathan, I mean, when the national anthem is going on, you can feel the tension in the air between these two teams, how much this game means to both of these squads after what has really become a pretty bitter rivalry.
Absolutely, and we know, we've heard from, almost every member of this UMass team about just how much, they feel the rivalry. And as Coach McCall put it, these guys all know each other. These guys all played with each other on the AAU circuit. They played EYBL together, and of course, they all have at least one game under their belts in competition. For many of these UMass guys, it'll be their first time at the Ryan Center tonight. And while they don't have to deal with the rodeo rampage and the ruckus that normally occurs in these stands, there is certainly the added weight of expectations. ESPN2 game tonight for what will be their first of 2 ESPN2 games in the span of 6 days. I mean, the stakes don't get much higher than this.
Yeah, I mean, there's no fans in this place, but you wouldn't know it right now. It's so loud, so electric, it feels like, inside the Ryan Center right now, and a lot of energy stemming from the UMass bench as they get ready for this one. Already read out those starting lineups, but might as well do it one more time for you. Javon Garcia, Carl Pierre, TJ Weeks, Ronnie DeGray III, and Mark Gasparini will be running things for UMass to start. And on the other side for Rhode Island, Jeremy Shepard, Alan Bertrand, Ishmael Leggett, Antoine Walker, and Mikkel Mitchell underneath will be the fives for both squads. And for UMass, a win here today would be the season sweep in this series.
First time since 2013-14, if that were to pass. It would also be their best start, as I mentioned earlier, since
2011 or even 2005 now. It just keeps pushing its way back in history.
Every successive win means more and more.
Absolutely, and I mean, UMass holding a 90-67 advantage in the all-time series. It's one that stems all the way back to 1908. UMass won that first game 32-14 in 1908.
Absolutely, and of course, some familiar faces on the UMass sideline for Rhode Island fans. All-time assist leader Tyson Wheeler.
Right.
Holds so many records for this URI program.
He was in a two-time A-10 first-team selection as a junior and a senior. Helped the Rams to an Elite 8 appearance in the '98 tournament as the opening tip is in favor of the Rams. At the top of the key right now, it's with Leggett, guarded by Weeks. Gets a screen, Weeks stays with him. Now passes to the right wing, it's with Shepard. Shepard looking for an entry pass to Gray, defending underneath right now against Antoine Walker. Walker spins to his right. Floater goes up on the baseline, and he knocks down the opening shot of the game. So 2-0. URI will take the lead, and picking up full court right now on Javon Garcia is Jeremy Shepard. Javon changing court over on the left side right now, trying to set things up for UMass. He hands off to DeGray on the right. DeGray to Pierre. Pierre working to his left. Switching the court again, and it's with Garcia on the left screen from Uncle Mark Gasparini. Driving by Garcia here, getting to the right side. He's fouled on his way up, and he will head to the line to shoot two.
That's one of the things that we talked about pregame. Javon Garcia's ability to get to the line. Again, one of the top 100 players in the country in terms of getting to the free throw line. And it's important to get that first foul on Mikkel Mitchell. That was one of the ways that UMass was able to claw themselves back into the game in that first meeting. Mitchell picked up a number of early fouls and forced Coach David Cox of the Rams to really adjust that lineup to make up for it.
Garcia able to hit the first, and you're absolutely right. I mean, defending Javon Garcia, it must be such a nightmare, just knowing that every time he gets the ball, he can put his head down and take it straight to the rim. It's exactly what he does on the first possession. He'll split the free throws 1 of 2, so it's a 2-1 lead here still for the Rams. And UMass picking up with his full court press. It's a zone look as the Rams get it over half court. Intensity stays, though, for UMass. Here's a lob to Antoine Walker, and he just lays it in at the rim. So the Rams take the lead even bigger here, 4-1. Garcia quickly for UMass, driving again, got a lot of contact at the rim, but no whistle, and it'll be out of bounds off Garcia.
Yeah, UMass set up in that 1-2-1 diamond press that they like to use. Left Mark Gasparini a little bit exposed because Rhodey's pushing 2 guys to lead back on him, creating some mismatches once they break that first wave.
Yeah, we'll see it again here. UMass with the full court press. DeGray at the top of it right now, your power forward, being the ball hawk as he tries to defend right now. A nice move and a steal from Garcia as he dives in out of nowhere. He'll be fouled, and it might have been a clear path foul.
should be a clear path foul. Garcia was well on his way to the basket, but it looks like we're going to get a side out of bounds instead. Tony Bergeron already pretty animated on the sideline. No, nothing unfamiliar there.
Absolutely. The intensity from the UMass press already able to force a steal. It was Garcia who dove in to swipe it away, and now UMass has themselves with a possession. 4-1 remains the score. 18.5 still on the clock here in the first half.
And it looks like the officials are going to review it right now to see if it's a clear path foul. Nope, they changed their mind as soon as we said that.
So Rhode Island in the man-to-man defense. It's Garcia here for UMass. He passes off to Weeks on the right. Another whistle off the ball from the referees, and it looks like there will be a foul underneath as DeGray fought for positioning against Walker.
Yeah, Beachran picking up the foul there. Pretty good start so far for UMass in terms of energy. The bench is incredibly animated right now. Everyone's on their feet right below us.
TJ Weeks will try to inbound from underneath the basket. He gets it into DeGray. DeGray, quick layup, gets it to go on the right side, and UMass has brought it within one. Full court press again from the Minutemen. DeGray at the top of it. Getting help from Pierre. The lob pass gets through the Rams. They drive. Shot goes up and it's blocked. A follow-up blocked again. And now UMass the other way in transition. It's with Garcia. Looking for someone to pass to. He finds DeGray on the right wing. DeGray opting to slow things down, and he'll back it up towards midcourt. Now passing to Weeks on the right. Sets a screen for Weeks. Weeks to Gasparini at the top. Gasparini looking for some help right now. Instead, a backdoor cut to Garcia. Puts up the floater, has it blocked. And the Rams will be off and running the other way. 4-on-5. Leggett trying to drive. Quick pass to Walker, and he'll finish it off on the left side.
Good defensive intensity from Uncle Mark Gasparini so far. He's the one who got credited with that block on the last play.
A really good look there from Ishmael Leggett to find the cutting Walker, and the lead moves to 3. UMass works things in the half court. It's with Weeks on the right. Gets a screen from Gasparini. Now he'll drive with his left hand. Floater goes up, and he got it to go over the outstretched arm of Ishmael Leggett.
Weeks playing in his home state might mean a little extra to him tonight.
Absolutely. TJ Weeks, a native of Warwick, Rhode Island. Played at Woodstock Academy. Here's a nice drive from Ishmael Leggett, and he uses the Euro step to finish it off at the rim. 8-5 becomes the score in favor of the Rams. UMass back on offense in the half court. Garcia to Gasparini at the top of the key. Now over to Pierre. Pierre driving baseline. Has a double team. Form in front of him. Now gets it back in the corner. His three goes up, and it just rattles off the front of the rim. No good. URI back the other way. Skip pass to the corner. Here's a drive coming in, and a layup has been blocked by Mark Gasparini from behind, but chasing after the loose ball is URI. Now it's tipped towards the sideline again, and it will remain Rhode Island basketball. Some good hustle going on right now for UMass on defense.
Second block shot of the day for Gasparini so far, and we had some questions about whether he'd be able to match up with URI's physicality down low. He's risen to the task.
Without a doubt, we'll have to keep an eye on that matchup today. Is of course Gasparini filling in for the star-studded Trey Mitchell. Here's URI back on offense. A three going up from the top of the key. No good from Jeremy Shepard. Rebound by Pierre, and he'll go ahead and carry it over half court. Pierre to DeGray at the top of the key. Crossover move, driving all the way to the rim. Got it to go straight on off the backboard. Ronnie DeGray with his first points of the contest. Still picking up with this press defense. Nathan, I know you're trying to find a second to cut in here, but there's so much intensity right now. Here's the drive from Shepard. Dumps it off from Mitchell. Mitchell's layup no good. And another rebound from Mark Gasparini as he fights off some players.
Thought for a second we were going to see Gasparini pull a little Nikola Jokic, dribble up the court.
Watch out for those elbows. Here's Javon Garcia losing the dribble. Needs help. Finds it to Pierre in the corner. His drive, baseline, shot no good. And back the other way is Leggett, 2-on-1. Spin move in the lane, puts up the tough shot, and he gets it to go.
Leggett absolutely making the most of Thach Russell's absence. He's really been able to carve out his role in this URI team over the last couple of games.
Without a doubt, Ishmael Leggett filling that role well. Here's Garcia with a drive, left side, shot up, no good, and it's tipped out of bounds. It will be URI basketball as the score finds itself 10-7. We get to our first media timeout with 15 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the first half. And why don't we go ahead and take a quick break here. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Again, you are listening to WMUA Sports in a different medium this time. We're on YouTube right now. It's Cam Sibert and Nathan Strauss. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello again, everybody. Welcome back inside the Ryan Center here in Kingston, Rhode Island. We're in our first media timeout as UMass finds themselves down by 3 points to the Rams. 10-7 is the score, and so far we're seeing a pretty fast-paced game, Nathan.
Yeah, and surprisingly, not that many three-point attempts so far for the Minutemen. They threw up over 30 last game, the most in the entire season. Yet only one so far in the first 5 minutes here tonight. Meanwhile, for URI, all 9 of their shot attempts have come from inside. They've hit 5 of 9 so far.
Yeah, you make a great point. I mean, you can already see it, the initiative to get to the rim from UMass. I mean, Ronnie DeGray, your power forward, decides to face up at the three-point line and drive. He scored when he did that, and we got some substitutions coming in for the Minutemen right now. Kyra McCrory is out on the court, and Debaji Walker joins him. They are there in place of TJ Weeks. And help me out here, maybe, Nathan. My mind is going blank.
Jermaine Harris also comes in for Mitchell, and a steal in the backcourt.
Debaji Walker into the game and instantly having an impact, tips that shot in the back of the backcourt, but now the Rams just able to get it over half court, and still the intensity remains. Debaji Walker and Javon Garcia double teaming on defense. The drive comes in from the Rams, and the layup is no good. Rebound by McCrory, and UMass looks to push things in transition. It's with Garcia. Screen from Gasparini, decides not to use it. Now it's back with Gasparini at the top. They swing it around the perimeter. It's with Debaji Walker on the left. Now to Gasparini again. Over to Garcia on the right wing. Garcia starts to drive baseline. He has to pass it across the baseline to Pierre, who's 3 in the corner. Comes up just short, but an offensive rebound from Debaji Walker. He tries to find his balance and puts it up and makes it. That is a huge shot from Debaji Walker to bring this lead to just 1.
Finishing through contact and bringing energy off the bench. That's just what you want if you're Coach McCall.
The pace remains quick here as the Rams go ahead and drive. That shot no good from Malik Martin, but he will go to the line to shoot 2.
Malik Martin, one of a number of transfers on this Rhode Island team, a Charlotte University transfer. Of course, the Mitchell twins, Makai and Raquel, both transfers from Maryland. A number of P5 transfers comprising David Cox's team this year.
Yeah, somewhat large exodus at the end of last year for the Rams. They saw a lot of their players enter the transfer portal, but they also welcomed a handful of players as well, and Fats Russell willing to stick around for his final year. Unless, of course, with COVID, he decides to play one more. Every player in the NCAA getting an extra year of eligibility. As Martin at the line makes 1 of 2 to make it 11-9, 14-20 on the clock. Garcia being defended by Fats Russell, who has come into the game dealing with an ankle injury, playing limited minutes tonight. Now Garcia being defended at the top of the key, sees a double team after the screen and has to get help from Gasparini. Gasparini starts to drive from the perimeter, tries to throw a pass to McCrory, and it's stolen away by the Rams. And just as they do get it on the other, going on the break, they throw it out of bounds. I'm sorry to fumble my words. So it'll be back in possession of UMass.
That's Russell entering the game. He might be one of the most NBA-ready players that we've seen from the A10 in a long time. He certainly has the kind of experience that would make him a valuable bench piece for a number of teams in the association.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, so much lateral quickness and ability to play defense at such a high level. Here's Garcia on the drive with the left, stops, uses the pivot foot and finishes with the right, taking a play right out of Trey Mitchell's playbook. That time was Javon Garcia, and he's got himself 3 points. Still UMass picking up with the press. The Rams able to break it. Here's the shot going up from the middle of the paint. No good, and it's a tap around until UMass comes down with it. McCrory fights for the loose ball, and UMass's bench is fired up after that.
Absolutely. Kyra McCrory, another one of the freshmen on this team, bringing the energy off the bench, and really good effort there from DeAndre Dominguez on the initial box out. URI was sending tons of guys to the paint there, and McCrory not only got the board, but also drew the foul.
McCrory still dealing on limited minutes for UMass, but going to have to play a big role here with players out. Here's Debaji Walker with a drive on the right baseline. He knocks down a couple bodies, and he's called for an offensive foul. An interesting call.
I mean, I think if you're Coach McCall, you don't mind that too much. Walker got the first man up in the air. You like seeing that kind of intensity and driving to the lane, especially if you're a player who, you know, is an accomplished scorer inside like Walker who heads to the bench.
He will go back to the bench. TJ Weeks will come in for Walker. Still Kyra McCrory and Javon Garcia keeping the press defense alive as the Rams able to get it over half court. Here's a drive and a quick pass to the baseline. Kyra McCrory meets him at the rim and sends that shot away. It was Malik Martin trying to dunk it that time. And back the other way come the Minutemen. Weeks thought about a three. Instead he'll try to drive. Kicks out to Dominguez. Dominguez to McCrory. Now it's with DeGray, who will bring things back to the top of the key to set up. DeGray driving, spinning with his pivot foot, putting up a shot, no good. And another tap around on the offensive glass results in the ball going out of bounds. UMass will get possession underneath.
I mean, how about Kyra McCrory? There must have been at least a 5-inch height difference there, and he rose up fearless to make that block.
It was a really nice pass to a cutting Jermaine Harris, I actually think it was. Went up with two hands to try to dunk it, and you're right, Kyra McCrory met him at the top for a huge block. As we find this game tied at 11 apiece, 12 minutes, 40 seconds to go. Garcia sizing up his defender at the top of the key. Here he is on a drive with his right hand. Gets all the way to the rim, but he can't get the shot to go. And back the other way will be the Rams 5-on-4. Here's the pass to Martin, who drives. So much contact at the rim, but they'll call a travel.
Defensive intensity has been excellent so far for UMass tonight. And we know that's a hallmark of Coach McCall's teams. We know Tony Bergeron really preaches that as well. It's really paid dividends for them tonight. And Rhode are certainly a team that has struggled with turnovers a decent amount over the course of their season this year. They average almost 4 more per game than UMass do. And UMass has one of the best assist to turnover rates in the entire A-10. So UMass certainly winning the defensive edge battle so far tonight.
Defensive effort right now is through the roof for both teams. 11-11, 12-20 to go. Here's Weeks with it for UMass on offense. He finds DeGray in the corner. That three goes up off the back iron. No good. Long rebound pulled down by Fats Russell. And he's off to the races here for the Rams. He's going to drive into the paint. Kick out to the corner. Left side three. No good off the front of the rim, but an offensive rebound from Harris. He has it swiped away by Kyra McCrory, and it goes out of bounds. Referee arm in the air. It'll be UMass basketball.
That's the right call. We got a great view of that from our vantage point. Harris dribbled it off his own knee. Unfortunately, it looks like the sideline official had a little bit of help there.
And everything we heard about Kyra McCrory coming into this season was the impact he could have defensively with his size playing the guard position. That time helping on the entry pass, collapsing down, swiping it away from the bigger Jermaine Harris and getting another possession for UMass. Got to give credit there to Kyra McCrory. Here's Javon Garcia for UMass, right around half court, getting a couple screens. He's going to go ahead and pull up from deep on the left side, doesn't get the shot to go, and a rebound and off to the races here for the Rams. Another nice dump pass. Mitchell's going to miss the dunk. He tried to throw it down with two hands, and how quickly the other way goes UMass. I can't find a second to get a breath. They're so back and forth in this game. Here's Weeks on the left side, looking to maybe enter a pass for Ronnie DeGray. Instead, he gets trapped in the corner, does get help, and finds the safety valve in DeGray. They swing it around. It's with Garcia on the right side. He will stop and pop from about 25 feet. Won't get the shot to go. And again, the Rams the other way. Here's Russell with it on the left side, defended by Dominguez. He's going to drive towards the middle of the paint, getting all the way there, and a nice scoop layup from Fats Russell.
Bread and butter for Fats Russell. Had the step on the much taller, but slightly less nimble DeAndre Dominguez there.
Without a doubt, Russell gets himself on the board with 2 points there. A nice finger roll, and here's UMass trying to answer on offense. It's with DeGray. Over in the corner for McCrory. He sees a double team off the screen, and now it's with Dominguez. Dominguez to Garcia on the left, to Weeks in the corner. Weeks is going to try one with a hand in his face, won't get it to go. It's tapped around, and Kyra McCrory comes up with a loose ball. He's going to drive. Euro step at the rim, and he finishes it off with a nice finger roll.
McCrory getting it done on both ends of the floor so far.
Absolutely, Kyra McCrory feeling his impact on this game already. 13 all is the score. 10.5 to go in the first half, and the UMass bench remains on its feet. Here they are in the half-court defense. Mitchell trying to get it to Russell. He does. Russell over to the left side. Here's a drive coming up against Kyra McCrory, and it's a push off. Another offensive foul, UMass possession.
That's the second offensive foul that McCrory has drawn so far. We reach another media timeout, but let's just keep it here. There's a lot to dissect so far. Let's start off with what UMass is doing offensively. Rhode is showing exclusively man looks right now, the same as Fordham did the other night. And we've seen a bunch of similar sets, you know, a lot of ball screens, a lot of handout to the top of the key, but with the combination of McCrory, Walker, other guys, you know, Ronnie DeGray, it's been working so far. They're getting some decent looks in the lane.
Not settling for outside jump shots, and it almost feels like at every moment of this game so far, UMass has had 5 offensive rebounders on the court. Everybody chasing the offensive glass, getting extra possessions. it's just, you can just feel the effort levels for the Minutemen are through the roof right now. Really, really good job on defense with that press. They've been causing a lot of havoc. I think Fats Russell coming into the game has helped Rhode Island in a way. I mean, the ball handling is obviously going to help. He had that mismatch against Dominguez, took advantage of that. But an all-square game right now, it's just so intense.
It's interesting to note that UMass pretty much stopped the press as soon as Fats Russell came onto the court. He just gives so much dynamism as a ball handler in the backcourt that you just can't risk it. And especially, without, 2 of your star guys, you got a little bit of a thinner rotation. You just can't really afford to run guys up and down the court for 40 minutes at a time, especially considering the fact that this is the first time UMass has played 2 games in 4 days for the entire season, I believe, as a result of, postponements, COVID pauses and whatnot. So, again, as we said on the beginning of the show tonight, definitely a measuring stick kind of game, both in terms of endurance and performance on the court.
Absolutely, and I'll give you some of the statistics here. We're taking a look at the field goal percentages. 33% right now for UMass, 38% for the Rams, and I mean almost all the statistical categories. Things are pretty tied up. No team has made a 3-point field goal tonight. UMass 0 of 6, the Rams 0 of 2. Both teams 1 and 2 at the free throw line. The rebound battle is about tied 11-12. Rhode Island with the favor in that, and it's just really been a tight game.
And we had a question the other day on our UMass basketball show on 91.1 WMUA about the 3-point shooting and should that be a concern looking at the numbers from the Fordham game. And we sort of came up with the answer that UMass is going to be a volume 3-point shooting team, and even more so without Trey Mitchell and Noah Fernandez. And so far that's continued tonight. 6 of the 8 threes attempted in the game so far have come from UMass. And while none of them have hit so far, you got to assume that there's going to be some regression to the mean, and one of these are going to start falling.
Yeah, they're going to start falling, and I mean, look at it. Javon Garcia has taken 2 threes that were not easy attempts that he tried. We see some more substitutions as we're getting ready to go again here. Colton Mitchell comes into the game for Javon Garcia. He'll be running the point. Mitchell over half court, defended by Russell, and he has it swiped away. Now on the break are the Rams. A lob going up. The layup is just barely hung on to and put down by DJ Johnson. And I'll tell you what, Nathan, it was a year ago that Colton Mitchell got the start against the Rams. He had the ball stolen away from him on the first possession, if I remember correctly. And that time coming up the court, having it stolen by Russell. Here's UMass back on offense. A 3 from TJ Weeks is no good off the left iron. And another possession for the Rams. They move it quickly. A quick pass to Makai Mitchell underneath the basket. Shot no good, but he was fouled, so he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
DJ Johnson, a JUCO product from out of Wilson Junior College in North Dakota, making his impact felt. He was a redshirt last year, didn't play any games, so his first of, I believe, 3 years of eligibility. He's played some big minutes for them off the bench so far this year.
So we got Makai Mitchell at the line, like you mentioned, a transfer from Maryland. First free throw, no good for him. Had 20-plus points in the prior meeting this year against Trey Mitchell. The battle of the Mitchells.
Absolutely, and for both Mitchells, free throw shooting is not their strengths.
Certainly not. So the score will be 16-13 after Mitchell makes 1 of the 2 free throws. 9.5 remaining in the first half. UMass in the half-court offense is with Gasparini at the top to Weeks on the left side. He'll drive baseline, skipping a pass back out for Ronnie DeGray. His 3 from the right wing is good, and UMass is on the board in terms of the 3-point shooting department. That makes it their first 3 of the game.
Great job by TJ Weeks there, driving past a double team to find the open Ronnie DeGray.
Rams able to break the press defense. Here's another lob underneath, and Makai Mitchell is able to finish this one off. I think we've seen 4 or 5 alley-oop attempts already for Rhode Island.
And we saw it a lot in their first meeting so far, and their first meeting of the year as well. A lot of backdoor looks for this Rhode Island Rams team.
Really good vision out of the guard so far of the Rams. Here's Weeks on offense for UMass. Moving it around the perimeter, it's with Pierre on the right side. 1 step inside the 3-point line. His jump shot is good. A nice looking stroke from Captain Carl Pierre, who gets himself on the board here. And as we say that, the Rams are turning the ball over. Unforced turnover as they try to break the UMass press. UMass will get another opportunity here on offense.
That's 6 turnovers in the opening 11 minutes of the game for the Rams. They average about 15 a game, so they're well on pace to hit that, or maybe even surpass it tonight. Credit to UMass, though, just as we complained a little bit about the 3-point shooting, DeGray comes back, 6 of 3, and then Carl Pierre steps inside the arc, knocks out a nice jumper.
So it's all knotted at 18 apiece. Right now, UMass in the half-court offense, 10 on the shot clock. Weeks comes around an off-ball screen. He puts up the 3 from the top of the key, and he won't get it to go. So back the other way come the Rams. It's with Fats Russell, defended by Colton Mitchell. Gets a screen at the top, driving with his left hand all the way in, kicks it back out to the center, Makai Mitchell, who will try a three from the right wing. Won't get it to go, but fighting for the offensive rebound is Antoine Walker. A second chance coming up for Rhode Island. Here's Shepard at the top, guarded by Pierre. His pass down low, and one more pass will find a layup. That's Antoine Walker underneath on the feed for Makai Mitchell.
Absolutely great work there by Mitchell. Not necessarily known as a three-point shooter, but finished well on that second chance.
Absolutely. So 20-18. Here's UMass back on offense. Mark Gasparini gets the ball underneath. He whips a pass to Pierre in the corner. His three is down. Nothing but net, and UMass will take the lead by 1 point.
You know, sometimes three-point shots are like buses. You wait around 10 minutes for one, and then three come at once.
So 2 straight trips down. Carl Pierre gets points for UMass to give him a 1 point lead. Here they are back on defense in the half court. It's Pierre defending Russell. Russell gives it off, and a drive coming straight down the heart of the paint. Has to pass off to Makai Mitchell. Mitchell against Gasparini in the post, backing him down. Floater out towards the baseline, won't go, and the offensive rebound falls into the hands of Antoine Walker, who makes the layup.
And going back to that point a few minutes ago, Makai Mitchell never made a three in a Rhode Island Rams jersey, so a little surprised that he even attempted one from that far out beyond the arc.
So make it 5 offensive rebounds for the Rams as they are starting to see some second chance points. Here's Colton Mitchell driving all the way down and scoring with a finger roll on the right side. Good sign if you're UMass. Colton Mitchell, known as more of a defending guard, but that time had a wide open lane and took it. Now here he is defending in the half court. Has his man driving right, going baseline, scoop, layup underneath the hoop, bounces around and falls out. That was Jalen Carey. Now UMass pushing it in transition. It's with Weeks, puts up a floater by the left side. Can't get it to go over the outstretched arm of Makai Mitchell, and it'll be Rhode Island basketball after it gets tipped out of bounds.
More good defense into offense there. But we come to the under 6 timeout, it looks like, and we can take this break, I think. We've been going for a while now. It's UMass 23, Rhode Island 22, 6:31 to go from the Ryan Center. You're listening to UMass Basketball on WMUA Sports.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to WMUA Sports on YouTube.com. We've got quite the ball game so far. 23-22 is the score. UMass in the lead. We've got 6.5 remaining, and it's just been so intense the whole game, just back and forth. Neither team wasting any time putting shots up. We've got 25 shots for UMass and 23 for Rhode Island just in the early going.
And UMass is one of the top teams in the country in terms of tempo. They're the first. They play the fastest out of any team in the A-10. We've been seeing that tonight. Right now, the difference is just those 2 made threes for UMass. One for DeGray and one for Carl Pierre, URI. Yet to connect on the Trey ball. Incidentally, speaking of Trey Mitchell, real active on the sidelines. I don't think he's taken a seat yet.
Yeah, and I mean, a leader on the team, not used to sitting. This is, I think, the second time that Trey Mitchell has ever not played for UMass in a game, so an opportunity for him to have his impact felt in a different way.
Absolutely, and
from what we know of him, he's a very outgoing individual.
Oh, absolutely, and I mean, even though he's a sophomore, he's one of the older and more experienced guys on this team. UMass is the 333rd most experienced team in the country. That means that there are basically, legions of teams with more experience than they are.
Yeah.
They're the youngest team in the conference by a wide margin as well. And, Coach McCall has made sure not to use that as an excuse, but instead as a demonstration of how far this team has come.
Exactly, and I mean, it was the same story last year. A few players moved out in the transfer portal, which just only meant more young players coming into what is the revolving door in college athletics as we know it. And the one player that stuck around since Coach McCall got here, Carl Pierre, remains out on the court, a substitution for UMass as Javon Garcia comes in for Colton Mitchell. Fats Russell will check out of the game for Rhode Island, having Ishmael Leggett come back in.
Passes back on.
Jeremy Shepard also out there playing guard with him, and they get over half court against this UMass press. It's McCrory right now defending Jeremy Shepard at the top. Man-to-man defense for UMass. 10 seconds on the shot clock. A screen comes up, and here's the drive for Shepard. Has to pick up his dribble, finds Mitchell underneath, and he'll throw down the two-handed slam.
Well, I was going to say good defensive set there. It took 13 seconds for URI to get even into their offensive rhythm, but another backdoor look and easy layup.
Rhode Island retakes the lead by a point. No look pass to the corner. Here's Pierre, one step inside the arc, won't get it to go, but a nice chase down from TJ Weeks for a second chance. Garcia driving, a bounce pass to Gasparini at the last second, fighting for positioning, and he can't get the shot to go. Might have had it knocked away by Makai Mitchell.
Looked like Gasparini had a chance to go up quick there, instead took the extra step.
Here's a big move coming in, trying to gather for the pro step, but instead a foul is going to be called. The referee blowing his whistle, drawing attention like he was going to make an important big call, and then just makes the regular call that you would expect him to make. I don't know what that was.
Travel there because he took a little jump step to gather,
step.
but refs playing fast and loose with the foul calls.
Playing with our emotions a little bit. So it'll be Rhode Island basketball. Underneath the hoop on the left side, inbounding is Ishmael Leggett. He gets it into Walker right underneath the hoop. Walker will go up quickly with the left hand and finish over the outstretched arm of Cairo McCrory. So a pretty easy bucket for Rhode Island will make the lead 3 points now with 5 minutes ticking down on the clock in the first half. Here's Pierre for UMass, swinging it to DeGray. DeGray yet to use the dribble, will hand off to McCrory. McCrory to Dominguez. Here's Pierre with a drive on the left side, all the way to the rim, and he finishes it off with his right hand. Very strong take from the captain, Carl Pierre. But no time to waste. Here comes the Rams the other way, and a lob for Walker is no good, and UMass back the other way in transition. Pierre to the opposite corner, finds Garcia on the left side, one step inside. Jump shot is good from Javon Garcia.
Credit that basket to Carl Pierre. Garcia made a great run there as the trailer. Pierre knew exactly where he was going as soon as he carried the ball over half court.
Right down the other way, Antoine Walker cuts back door and finishes off the layup. This is like a pickup game at your local YMCA. These guys wasting no time. Here's Garcia the other way, right at Makai Mitchell. That had to be a foul, but it wasn't. Layup no good. Second chance from DeAndre Dominguez is stolen away by Antoine Walker, and here come the Rams.
Antoine Walker, 50% of URI's points so far, 14.
Yeah, Walker has just been finding the open spaces underneath the hoop. We've seen a few easy layups, as you might expect, with Trey Mitchell out of this game. Here's a high screen from Makai Mitchell for Jeremy Shepard. He finds Leggett on the sideline. Might have stepped out of bounds, but the ref didn't see it. He's going to work right now on Carl Pierre, driving baseline, and he stepped out again. That time they pick up on it, and UMass looking to capitalize on another turnover.
I mean, he definitely stepped out of bounds a second time there. Coach McCall in the officials' ear because of that first call that they missed.
I think he did the first time, too.
As they say, ball don't lie. And Antoine Walker, you said at the beginning of the broadcast it's not that Antoine Walker, but he's been playing like that Antoine Walker tonight.
That's a great point. Antoine Walker with the game-high 14 points right now as UMass brings it over half court to get set up. 28-27, Rams with the lead. Garcia has the ball over near the left wing. He gets a screen. They switch. Garcia just inside the arc, tries the shot from near the elbow, won't get it to go, and now hustling back on defense. Forcing it in transition and trying to put up a shot with Shepard, had it blocked by DeGray, and now leaking out is DeAndre Dominguez. The pass sifting through a gauntlet of arms and goes out of bounds, but UMass will maintain possession.
Yeah, Fats Russell arguing. He's pleading his case, but the officials are going to keep that with UMass. Hit another break. We can keep it here. Why not? Plenty to discuss. UMass down just one. And I think this is definitely a positive sign for a UMass fan base that was fairly pessimistic coming into this one. You know, Ken Pom gave URI a 72% chance of winning. The line was 7 points for this UMass team to cover, but so far they have absolutely brought the energy tonight. And they've really lived up to what Coach McCall has said would be their biggest strength in the depth of their team this year.
It's been really interesting to see the offensive strategy. It almost seems like Coach McCall just let them off the leash. He said, everybody play freely tonight. In play and transition, both teams have wasted zero time pushing it and getting into their offense. It's just been back and forth the whole way. No time for us to catch a breath as the broadcasters. And it's resulted in a 28-27 score with just 3.5 to go in this first half. Find ourselves in another timeout. We take a look at the statistics in the game right now. We mentioned that Antoine Walker is leading all scorers for both squads. He's got 14 points, and for UMass, 7 for Pierre, 7 for DeGray, 5 for Garcia, and a couple of players with 2 points right now.
And the best part for Carl Pierre is I don't necessarily think of him as a 3-level scorer, but so far today he's drilled a 3, hit a layup, and took that nice little step back on the inside. So proving that he can get it done at all levels, and that's what you need from one of your experienced players, from your captain.
Absolutely. He made a nice find for Garcia in the corner that resulted in the basket, and I think that's probably the biggest area of improvement for Carl Pierre since coming to UMass, his ability to get to the rim. He's made so much more of an emphasis on improving that part of his game, and you see it so much more often, his aggressiveness, taking it baseline and scoring when he gets there. I mean, that one take he had 3 players meet him at the rim, still fought through the contact and scored. He knows how important a game like this is for him today. With players out, the elder captain on the team, you got to step up and play big, and he's doing that so far. 7 points on 3 of 7 shooting. He hit the 1-3. He's got 2 rebounds, an assist, and 1 foul against him.
Absolutely, and want to shout out URI for filling the stands with cardboard cutouts of some civil rights leaders on Black History Month. Everything about URI is pretty classy, and as far as rivalries go, these are 2 high-class institutions, and I think that's one of the things that really fuels these 2 teams whenever they go up against each other.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, anytime there's a rivalry in sports or in anything, always going to draw more attention, more excitement, more energy from these players, and you're certainly seeing it out on the court. Reminder that this game is also on ESPN2, nationally broadcasted. If you wanted to listen to us while you watched it, I might recommend that combination as we're getting ready for play to resume here. It'll be UMass inbounding from underneath. Garcia underneath the basket to the right, finding Pierre, almost has it tipped out of bounds, so they'll retry. But it doesn't seem like there's been much of a reason to set up on offense. Might as well just play freely and go as they have been. Here's the second try. They get it into Pierre this time. Back out to Gasparini, and now over to Garcia near the right corner. He finds DeGray with an entry pass. Going to work is DeGray. Shimmy shake, fadeaway jump shot is good from RD3.
RD3 takes over the team lead in points with 9, almost in double digits for a guy who had his career high in points against URI earlier in the season.
Gives UMass the lead again. It's back and forth so far in this one. 3 minutes to go. UMass leading by 1. Here are the Rams on offense. Moving it around the perimeter. They get it to Alan Bertrand, who tries a jump shot just inside the arc. Won't get it to go. Ronnie DeGray pulls down the board, and he'll find Javon Garcia to set things up for UMass. Chance to extend the lead a little more. Garcia defended by Fats Russell at the top, shielding the ball with his back, now passing to Cairo McCrory and then getting it back again. Over to DeGray on the left. Really good defense from Umberto Brasidem for URI. Now DeGray trying to back him down, goes to his right shoulder to try the shot, couldn't get the little jump shot to go. So now the other way are the Rams. Nice take from Jeremy Shepard, but he had it blocked by Cairo McCrory. Cairo McCrory stuffs that one on the backboard, and now he takes it the other way for UMass. Crossing over, driving with his left hand, and a nice scoop layup from Cairo McCrory. He's making plays on both ends.
And McCrory got fouled there, too. Coach McCall a couple of times has been pleading for the and one. He's still pleading his case right now.
That is really firing up the UMass bench. Everybody on their feet. Cairo McCrory is making plays here in the Ryan Center. Here's a 3 from Alan Bertrand on the right. Back iron, no good, and a chance for Pierre to run. He pulls down the board. He's got numbers. To McCrory on the left. Now to Garcia. Thought about shooting. Instead will drive. Now a swing. Over to Pierre in the corner on the right side, defended by the bigger defender. He gets the shot fake, kicks out, and they swing it to Garcia. Now to McCrory in the corner. His three is good.
That might be the best offensive possession that the UMass Minutemen have had this entire season. Every single extra pass there earned that three-pointer.
The bench is so ecstatic right now for this run. UMass starting to open up a bit of a lead here, and a foul will calm things down for the time being. But you're so right, Nathan. How about that last possession for UMass? So many opportunities for players to take a shot. Instead, they make the extra pass. It results in a wide-open three in the corner that McCrory, stone cold, knocks down.
Absolutely. Really great ball movement, extra passes, selflessness. That's what you want if you're Coach McCall. Largest lead in the game for UMass now. 7-0 run for the Minutemen to take a 6-point lead.
A 7-0 run in the last minute 52, and it's a scoring drought for the Rams. They haven't scored in the last 3 minutes. They'll look to do that here as they inbound from the sideline. It comes into Jeremy Shepard. Shepard takes his time and now feeds it over to Fats Russell to set things up on offense. He gets a high screen going to his left. Hedge from Gasparini slows down the drive, and now an entry pass for Jermaine Harris to go to work. He dishes it off to Leggett, who finishes off the layup on a nice cut down the middle of the lane. And Garcia will be forced to get past Fats Russell, picking up full court. He does that pretty easily, and now we'll set things up for UMass in the half court. It's with McCrory at the top, looking for Pierre on a handoff, gets it to him, now to Gasparini. Gasparini with the ball above his head, looking for some help, gets it to Walker on a handoff, now to McCrory, now to Pierre on the left. Pierre's going to take the quick trigger three, and he's going to knock it home.
Exactly what you want from Paul Pierre. He's heating up, and when he gets hot, there's not a single player in the A-10 who can slow him down.
Pierre up to double digits. He's got 10 on 2 threes. He's attempted 4 of them. Now in the half court is URI. It's with Fats Russell. High screen from Harris. Going to work on Gasparini. Gets all the way to the rim. Scoop layup, no good. Hard off the glass, and it'll be UMass basketball after it went out of bounds off the Rams.
A little surprised Coach McCall hasn't called his timeout. You know, use it or lose it in the first half. But, you know, a chance for UMass to get the last possession here in the first half. Shot clock is off.
They get it into Garcia. He hustles over half court, and they will use the timeout. Nathan, might need to get you a job down there, but I mean, just to comment on the bench. Typically, you see a lot of energy from the players and from Coach McCall, but even the assistants have been up on their feet, screaming, hollering things out. Everybody is playing so intense, you can just see how much the Minutemen want this game.
Absolutely, and Coach McCall doing a little holding back there at the assistants.
Yeah.
And, you know, Coach McCall, I think he's much maligned for last year. He would pick up, you know, a technical foul or two every couple of games.
That's a great
I don't
point.
think he's gotten one this
No.
year.
I don't think he has either, and that's a great point.
So, you know, the A-10 is such a competitive league that games are decided regularly by 1 or 2 points. Just ask URI, who fell to VCU after having a chance to win the game on free throws late. So that kind of discipline, I think, is a real evolution for him.
Yeah, it's a great point because you're right. The technical fouls last year that he did have didn't come necessarily at the best times during the game. I remember one pretty distinctly against Virginia that almost might have done UMass in that one, but you're right. It's just a discipline thing that he's obviously taken note of.
And there is such thing as a good technical foul. You know, it shows your players that you have your back. We're talking about the undisciplined ones, and that's been key this year.
No doubt. So UMass will have the last possession of the first half with a 7-point lead. Garcia dribbling out the clock. It's just past 20 seconds. Still with Garcia. Rhode Island in a bit of a zone look, and here's a steal from Fats Russell. He's going to go down the other way, a chance to lay it in. He tries to reverse, couldn't get it to go, but he has it tipped in by Leggett. So 4 seconds left. No one's going to even inbound the ball for UMass. They finally get it in Pierre. A 3/4 of the length of the court shot will not be good, and that is unfortunate for UMass. Had a chance at the last shot. Instead, Fats Russell comes up with a steal, and the Rhode Island Rams will go into the half just down by 5 points. Still a good half for UMass to come out with the lead. Why don't we take a break here, and when we come back, we'll break down everything we just saw in that first half. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the cast here on YouTube. WMUA Sports. I'm Cam Sibert, and Nathan Strauss will be right back. Welcome back in, folks. We're inside the Ryan Center. Halftime still going on here. About 8 minutes on the clock until things resume. But Cam, Sibert, Nathan Strauss bringing you the coverage from WMUA Sports on YouTube this time. And Nathan, just taking a look at that first half. 37-32 is the score. The Minutemen allow the Rams to get an extra bucket there at the end. Fats Russell with a steal and then a layup down on the other side. But really a great first half for UMass to come out with the lead by 5 points. You don't have Trey Mitchell. You don't have Noah Fernandez. That was obviously the big talking point coming in. How impressed are you with the start?
I mean, I said this on Twitter at Nathan P. Strauss, but I think that might have been the best half of the season for UMass. And I know there have been more dominant halves in terms of scoring. I think of the La Salle games is a good example of that. But UMass brought a level of defensive intensity that we haven't really seen from them all season. It's the kind of thing that we've thought UMass as a program has been capable of under McCall. And it's nice to finally see it in action. There was a level of hustle and commitment, and the word that Coach McCall uses a lot is bought in. You know, he wants his players to buy into the system. And tonight, I think UMass has 9 guys who have seen the court, and all of them have demonstrated a level of commitment that we haven't seen all season long.
Yeah, togetherness is a word that comes to mind when you were talking about that, and you're absolutely right. I think as well, when Coach McCall thinks up the idea to have a press defense and have that be the identity of the team, this is probably what he was thinking of in his mind as the way they would perform. The press defense has just been so in your face tonight against the Rams. I mean, you talk about the turnover battle already. The Rams with 7 turnovers in that first half. But even, like you said, in the half-court defense, UMass just done a really good job rotating, like you say, playing together. So you got to give them credit there. I mean, you look at some of the statistics right now. It's a pretty spread-out scoring effort from UMass. Pierre leads scorers with 10. McCrory with 7 points. We can talk about him in a second here. Javon Garcia with 5 points. And Ronnie DeGray with 9. But yeah, Kyron McCrory, how about the impact he's having right now? And I can't see his blocks. I know he has at least a couple. 7 points on 3 of 3 shots.
2 blocks.
Made the 1-3. 2 blocks, you're saying, and a steal. I mean, we knew coming into this year that he could have an impact defensively, but he's doing it on both ends. The defensive side, though, is probably what stood out the most.
Absolutely. I mean, the energy that he brought today is phenomenal, and there's a certain fearlessness. We keep using that word, but he's rising up to the rim to contest these guys who are significantly bigger. I mean, like, McCrory, Garcia, they're not the biggest guys. You know, they're somewhere between point guard size and wing size, but they have this intensity, and it's pretty clear that it's something that UMass has really missed. You know, they missed, 4 games between McCrory and Dominguez. They missed 4 games since the start of 2021, I believe. And having them back is such a help for Coach McCall. And all but 2 guys who have seen the court tonight have contributed minutes, and even though Mark Gasparini has yet to score, he has played some unreal defense tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Kyron McCrory, 6'5", 190 pounds, playing guard. He has flown through the air on multiple occasions tonight and blocked dunk attempts on alley-oops and a 2-handed dunk from the big center for the Rams and Mekhi Mitchell. Put it on the backboard a couple times and then went down the other end and made a big 3 in the corner there in that first half. Gotta give credit to Kyron McCrory and the way he's playing right now. Who's somebody else that you're looking at?
I mean, on the other side of the court, it's got to be Antoine Walker, 14 points, 7 of 9 shooting. I'm pretty sure all 9 of them have been within 6 feet of the basket as well.
Yeah.
He's gone on the end of a lot of give and goes. They use that. They use those on-ball screens a lot, especially when UMass stopped going with the press. You know, he only played 9 minutes as well in the first half, so he could have a real run of things in the second half. And another thing to keep an eye on is Fats Russell. Just 2 points for him, but you have to wonder if Coach Cox is going to ride him a little harder in the second half. He's on a minutes restriction, but he gives an element of dynamism to this URI team for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you see his impact on defense, really. Colton Mitchell comes into the game, instantly has it stripped away by Russell towards the end of the half there at a steal, both of which resulted in points. Maybe he didn't get them, but somebody following behind for a putback layup, that kind of thing. Fats Russell is just so important for those type of plays. And then you mentioned Antoine Walker. I think a big reason for him having 14 points in only 9 minutes is him being a redshirt junior. So much experience for Antoine Walker, playing in games and knowing where to be, knowing the situation at hand. He had a quick inbound one play and instantly went up with it. Presence of mind that was the time to take a shot. It was just a good shot. So I think a lot of that has to do with his experience being a 6'7", 230-pound redshirt junior.
Of course, and you know, we've made a couple of references to the other Antoine Walker. We're talking about the former Celtics lottery pick out of the University of Kentucky, number 8.
Antoine.
Yeah, as
That
Eddie Powell,
Antoine.
would say, Antoine Walker. One of the first Celtics who I can really remember as a kid, actually, if you think about it.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely. But,
him and Paul Pierce.
Antoine Walker, a Georgetown transfer, one of, I believe, 6 transfers on this URI team. And I think, URI, they've had a real mixed bag so far of the season. I mean, they're 9-10 in the year, 6-6 in A10 play. They did challenge themselves with a number of tough opponents. They played Arizona State. They lost to a bad BC team, a BC team that's only 4 places ahead of UMass in KenPom this year, despite being a Power 5 school. They also had a really close game with Wisconsin, a game which they took on short notice due to some COVID stuff. But they've played more games than anyone else in the A10, and we speculated a lot at the start of the year that they would have a little bit of disjointedness because of all these transfers, and it certainly looked like that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they're hard to predict. You just don't know what you're going to get on any given night. You're right. They have played the most games in the A10, so that certainly helps to have experience in a year like this where UMass just actually rescheduled the game against VCU. That'll be played on February 12th. If you didn't hear about that news, it's a good sign. And we were on the call at the beginning of the year with the commissioner of the Atlantic 10, Bernadette McGlade, and she had to field so many questions that are so tough to answer on, like, how are you going to go about rescheduling games that were canceled or postponed when there's so much logistics going into the travel plans and everything that goes into a game? Like, how do you reschedule that kind of thing in such a small period of time? And she mentioned that the Atlantic 10 might employ a window for remake games, and you just can only wonder. I don't even think there have been definitive answers as to what's going to happen at the end of the season here, as so many teams haven't even finished their full schedule.
Absolutely. And on that call, she did say that there's the possibility that UMass, or that the A10 rather, will use some sort of win percentage or some sort of algorithm to determine the seedings. But if there's anything that we've learned from this year, it's that teams' records are not at all indicative of their strength. We've got a team like St. Louis who are 0-2 in the A10. They're a team that right now is, according to Joe Lunardi, going to be a 9 seed when tournament time comes.
Yeah.
So again, it's not at all a sure thing that teams are going to necessarily play up to or down to their records. And who knows? The way things have been going, we might even be able to provide live coverage of that VCU game. God knows what's going to happen, right? I mean, we've had so many twists and turns. I wouldn't mind taking a drive down to the Spiegel Center, but we can figure that out at a later date as the teams get set to take the court here for the second half. If you're a UMass fan watching on national TV right now, you gotta say that, if you're a neutral fan rather, you've been impressed with what you've seen from a team that you might not know too much about.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're going to go ahead and turn the camera up, but a showcase game when you're playing on national television, anytime you're doing that, and it's unfortunate that Troy Mitchell isn't able to play. Obviously, he is so much of what makes UMass UMass. But so far through the first half, I think they're doing a pretty good job at showing the country exactly what they're made of. Up by 5 points on URI right now. It's about 10 seconds away from starting the second half.
Absolutely, and we know a couple of NBA scouts are in the building tonight taking some notes.
Oh, do we? I didn't know.
Yeah, well, if you read those emails from the Rhode Island SID close enough, you know that there's some NBA scouts.
I was reading emails from them. I didn't see anything about that.
But certainly there are a number of bona fide prospects on both of these teams. Guys like Fats Russell, other guys.
Now you got me looking at the stands all with squinty eyes, like, who's here right now?
Exactly, but I mean,
the real Antoine Walker in the building.
Yeah, plenty to play for if you're UMass, and gotta say the Ryan Center, credit to them because they put on a show despite the fact that there aren't any fans in the building. They've had taped dance performances from the URI cheer team.
I honestly thought there was a cheerleader standing next to me for a second. I didn't know what was going on, but yeah, the experience in here is awesome.
It's pretty awesome. And credit again to Shane Donaldson and the URI support staff for being able to host us, and the great ocean state of Rhode Island. It's a pleasure to be here as always. Hopefully we'll be able to beat the snow coming home tonight. But
yeah, hopefully. It's always a concern in New England. As we get ready for the second half, we're looking at the lineups right now. It's that starting lineup for UMass. Javon Garcia, TJ Weeks, Carl Pierre on the wings, Ronnie DeGray and Mark Gasparini underneath, and I believe the same starting lineup for URI as well. That would be Jeremy Shepard at the top, Alan Bertrand out there, Makai Mitchell, Ishmael Leggett, and Antoine Walker. UMass with possession here. It's with Pierre on the right side in the half court, finding Gasparini, cutting, and Gasparini will throw it down. The UMass bench loves that.
Well, they might call him Uncle Mark, but I don't know any uncles that have those kind of hops.
No, Uncle Mark throwing it down with one hand, had space to jump and does exactly that. That injured knee looks just fine to me there. So UMass brings the lead back to 7 early on. Here's Makai Mitchell trying to answer on Gasparini. The floater no good. Second chance no good as well, and UMass pulls down the board. And an unnecessary foul from Ishmael Leggett as Ronnie DeGray pulled it in.
Yeah, only 11 total fouls between the two teams. 6 for URI, 5 for UMass in the first half. The officials have really been letting these two teams play, but DeGray got his arm hooked a little bit there by Ishmael Leggett.
So a foul against Leggett means UMass can slowly bring things over half court. Here's Garcia manning the offense for UMass, guarded by Shepard, passing it off to Gasparini. Now Gasparini hands back off to Garcia. Garcia on the left side, they swing it around. It's with Pierre on the right. Pierre thinking about driving, he will on the baseline. Now gathering, fadeaway jumper was blocked by Makai Mitchell.
Yeah, Pierre got away with a little bit of push off there to create some space. Surprised that wasn't called.
The right thought, just couldn't get it to go. Walker with a pass underneath for Makai Mitchell, and a hard foul smartly by Mark Gasparini will result in 2 free throws.
Absolutely. Only the second foul of the day for Gasparini, and knowing that Mitchell is between a 50 and a 60% free throw shooter, he's with his first pair of the day. Don't mind that at all from Gasparini. Plenty of time to spare as well.
Certainly. So that'll put Makai Mitchell at the line again tonight. He is 1 of 2, I believe, from the stripe. As he gets that first one to go. Oh, just kidding, he missed. So still a 7-point lead for UMass, 39-32, 18-48 in the second half. Second free throw will fall, so make it 2 of 4 so far tonight. Makai Mitchell at the line.
I think I gave him a little bit too much credit. 45% on the year from the charity stripe.
So certainly a good foul for Mark Gasparini. Saves a point. Here's Pierre near half court, giving to Gasparini. Now Gasparini to Weeks, who knocks down the mid-range jump shot on the baseline. TJ Weeks adds himself a couple more points. Stretch this lead to 8 for UMass. The press still pushing for UMass. Now they get it over, do the Rams. TJ Weeks defending on Shepard, and the UMass bench it firing up Weeks right now. The Rams slow things down, 10 on the shot clock. Entry pass gets into Makai Mitchell, who goes to work on Gasparini by the baseline. Gasparini gets help with a double team from DeGray, and they'll call it a jump ball.
Possession arrow favors URI, but, looking at the body language of these two teams right now, you have to say that UMass is a lot more positive. URI seem like they're really frustrated, and that's been a common theme for them this year.
It's a great point. It just feels like the Rams getting almost a little unlucky at times so far in this game, as Shepard finds himself open on the left side. End of the shot clock, 3, no good. Long rebound ends up in the hands of Ishmael Leggett for URI, and a second chance is underway. Shepard again, step back this time from the left side, and he knocks it down in the face of Carl Pierre. Good looking shot.
Nice little between the legs move to gather there, create some space on Pierre. URI, I believe, still yet to hit a 3 this game.
Make it 8 points for Ishmael Leggett, and you are correct, Nathan. 0 of 5 from behind the arc. Here's DeGray wide open on the block. He'll finish off the layup. Another opportunity for UMass as they continue to pass the ball really, really well on offense. It's leading to wide open looks. Defense staying intense. Ball on the floor. Gasparini's down, hustling for it, and it's a wrestling match for the basketball as Uncle Mark Gasparini comes out with it.
And this time the possession arrow favors UMass. That all started with Ronnie DeGray trying to take a charge. It totally threw Alan Beatrand off guard. He dribbled the ball, got away from him, and it ended up on the floor. And credit to Mark Gasparini. We know he's been banged up with some lower body issues. Certainly didn't seem like it there. Willing to risk it all to get UMass the extra possession.
Mark Gasparini playing a major role in this game right now. Gets UMass another possession. Here they are in the half court. Weeks thought about driving, had it stolen away by Leggett, who is off to the races on the break. Bounce pass to Makai Mitchell, and he'll flush it down with 2 hands. Bring the lead to 6 for UMass. 43-37 with 17 to go. Ronnie DeGray slowly trots the ball over half court. Pierre trying to get open on the wing. Instead, he'll cycle through the baseline. Now DeGray tries to drive, has the ball stolen away. Another chance for URI to push it in transition. A lob up to Makai Mitchell, has to pass it out to the perimeter. It's with Walker, now back underneath for Mitchell, barely receiving the pass and finishing off the layup. 4-point lead, and Coach McCall is going to need a timeout.
Yeah, Gasparini is a little tired. URI took advantage of that on back-to-back possessions, working him around in the low post. And Mitchell's gotten, plenty. This is exactly the same kind of game that he had the first time these two teams played. He had 23 points in that game, already up to 10 tonight, but all of them have come from the inside. And if you're Coach McCall, I think you probably bring in someone like Deandre Dominguez to give Gasparini a little bit of a breather. Gasparini, I think he sometimes gets a little bit more attention than maybe he has deserved, just because he's one of the only upperclassmen on this team. He's the only true center, I think, aside from Trey Mitchell. But he's certainly earned that recognition in the past couple of days.
Yeah, he's a graduate student, and you're absolutely right in pointing out that he's getting a little tired. You can see that URI is exploiting it. They're throwing it down low to Makai Mitchell, who's having a field day, really, so far in this second half, scoring the ball. 10 points for Makai Mitchell on 4-9 shooting. And it's a good timeout for Coach McCall to get his guys a rest. I mean, you're playing this fast-paced brand of basketball. You need a deep lineup that UMass just doesn't have right now. Things obviously shortened with some of the injuries. Sorry about that.
No, absolutely. I mean, UMass has gone a little sloppy on the offensive end. We saw them run a little ISO play there. They cleared out for Ronnie DeGray on the near-hand side. He just lost control of the ball, driving towards the paint. And the possession before that, TJ Weeks got a little careless and had the ball stripped. And speaking of TJ Weeks, his little brother is the reigning Rhode Island State Player of the Year, I believe, in Class B. And it's been speculated that he might have a UMass future to go along with the strong Weeks family tradition of playing at UMass. So.
I was going to say, there's no secret behind the family ties for the Weeks in UMass. Of course, is TJ's father, Tyrone, playing on those 90s teams that made all those trips to the tournament, was a 1,000-point scorer for UMass. And like you just said, TJ's got some younger brothers who might be next up in the ranks.
Yeah, absolutely, and we know that the Weeks family is very active on Twitter. Shout out to the user @WeeksMom, who is constantly cheering a team on from the sidelines. They're from Warwick. It's literally 10 minutes down the road. Like, we drove through there coming to this game tonight. So we hope they're tuning in on ESPN or maybe even on WMUA and enjoying what they've seen so far. For Weeks, only 4 points on 2 of 6 from the field. He's got the potential to rattle off a couple of threes at any given time, and that's a valuable asset for Coach McCall. Yeah, no doubt. And to go back on your point about the sloppy play so far in the second half, definitely I can agree with you there. It feels like UMass needs to just tighten things up a little bit coming out of the half. No easy turnovers like they just gave away. As they get ready to bring the ball over half court, Javon Garcia will be manning the offense. Kyra McCrory is set up in the corner, so TJ Weeks has come out of the ball game. And Mark Gasparini, despite maybe being slightly winded to start the half, will remain underneath. So Ronnie DeGray is carrying the ball up for UMass. An interesting move. Your 6'8" power forward who's receiving on a backdoor cut. Just tried to bring the roof down with a two-handed dunk. Had it stolen away, and the Rams will go the other way with it. Whistle away from the ball. Gasparini is going to pick that one up on the floor. They got him for the bump in the lane. I'm not sure what the officials are talking about here, but yeah, it will be Gasparini. They'll say he got Mitchell in the back there. 3 fouls now, so got to be a little cautious now if you recall, with 16 minutes to go in the second half.
Certainly, Makai Mitchell is falling over, almost adding some theatrics to draw that foul. It'll again be Gasparini tasked with Mitchell in the post. Instead, here's Leggett driving, floater high arcing, no good, and a loose ball fight for the rebound comes up in Makai Mitchell's hands. His second chance, no good. Now Ronnie DeGray pulls it down, a quick outlet pass to Garcia, who's pushing it. Now finds Pierre on the right side, passing it back up to the top, and they swing it around. It's with Gasparini. Gasparini looking for a handoff. He'll find one in Pierre. Pierre back up top, goes to DeGray. Now DeGray to Garcia, and Garcia to McCrory. McCrory driving baseline, getting past, and a crazy acrobatic layup just doesn't go. The English not enough. Now Fats Russell pushing it in transition. He'll try a little finger roll layup, and he will connect. So a 2-point lead has instantly been shrunken down here as UMass hangs on to it, 43-41.
2-minute scoring drought here for UMass. They've had a couple of good looks, but the execution just hasn't quite been there.
Javon Garcia with a grown man take, can't make the layup when he got there, and Fats Russell again will try and transition. A quick pass at the last second was blocked off the backboard, and it will be a goaltend. Fats Russell, just such a maestro on the fast break. You saw it, went in and scored one time, and then that time, just the last second flick pass over to his teammate will result in a bucket. He has done that a few times, you could say, in his collegiate career.
And Coach McCall demanding an explanation from the officials so far about why Javon Garcia hasn't been receiving these foul calls on the other end of the court. But we come to our first media break of the second half, and we'll take it. We'll be right back here on 91.1 WMUA YouTube version.
Just a short break that time as we welcome you back inside the Ryan Center here in Kingston, Rhode Island. An A-10 matchup between the Minutemen and the Rams. 43-all is the score with 15 minutes and 13 seconds to go. We've got a group huddle right now with a referee amongst the UMass players just asking some questions about who knows what. I'd be interested to find out, and maybe we'll ask Coach McCall after the game. But you mentioned it, Javon Garcia has been taking it to the rim with a vengeance tonight. Hasn't necessarily been given the calls you might expect. He has been to the free throw line once, but you almost think that the guy on the other side of the with a different color jersey on might be getting more calls. It's Fats Russell, being a senior.
Absolutely, and you know, even despite the lack of fans tonight, it's possible that there might be just a little bit of home cooking from these officials. I mean, they are playing the crowd noise. It is an ESPN2 broadcast, so I believe it's one of their conditions, and it creates a different atmosphere if you're an official.
This ball stolen away, and Antoine Walker is going to throw down a vicious windmill on the break.
Definitely a highlight reel play for a guy who's now up to 16 points in Antoine Walker.
Yeah, the URI bench still yet to sit down after that one. That was a tomahawk of a windmill from Walker, who was free on the fast break after jumping the passing lane. So now back on offense are UMass. It's with Pierre. He goes to the top to Dominguez, now to McCrory. McCrory underneath to Dominguez, has space on the baseline, tries a little mid-range jump shot that just doesn't fall.
Dominguez, the only player for UMass who hasn't scored tonight so far.
So after jumping to an 8-point lead, the Minutemen are falling quickly into a hole. It's a 10, make it a 12-0 run. In the last 2.5 minutes for the Rams. UMass really needs a bucket. Here's DeGray catching it, has Russell on him in the post. A couple quick passes. Garcia in the corner knocks down the three.
And another extra pass there from Carl Pierre. You know, he thought about throwing it up.
And just falling asleep at the wheel are UMass again. A skip pass ahead for Antoine Walker, who was basically cherry picking for an easy layup. Keeps the score at 49-46. 13 minutes and 50 seconds to go. UMass in the half court. Here's DeGray, whip pass underneath to Dominguez. His layup will fall, and he got fouled. He'll go to the line for a chance at a three-point play.
And DeAndre geez, Yonder Dominguez out of New Hampton, up in New Hampshire, another prep guy on this team. Of course, he's got the Bergeron connection as well. Plenty of experience from him. We haven't seen too much of him so far this year, but he's done a decent job so far tonight. Even though he hasn't scored, he's provided some different looks. You just saw him pull up for a baseline jumper, and now he's got a chance to convert the and one.
Yeah, so the run will come to a close for the Rams. It was a 12-0 run there, and now Andre Dominguez hits the free throw to tie the game. Some substitutions for UMass. Tabaji Walker will check in for Dominguez, who gets a word from Coach McCall before he sits down. So we got the full court press still here for UMass. Lob pass to Russell, back to Leggett, who's still just getting it over half court. Now Jeremy Shepard has the ball in the left wing for the Rams, setting things up. They move it around. It's with Fats Russell now, defended by Carl Pierre. As he calls out plays, commandeering his offense.
Little zone look for UMass.
And UMass in the zone. Here's a floater coming in from Jeremy Shepard. He couldn't get it to go. In and out. And pulled down by Cairo McCrory, who, getting it over half court, puts together a little and one mixtape on Fats Russell, has lost him in his dust. Floater in the lane, and he knocked it down. Cairo McCrory continues to impress.
Big time game from Cairo McCrory. I can say pretty confidently this has been his best game in college so far by a wide margin.
Going up against probably the premier on-ball defender and shaking him in his boots, then finishing it with a floater was Cairo McCrory. Here's good defense again from UMass, almost forcing a turnover. Instead, Jeremy Shepard tries a fadeaway jumper in the lane. Couldn't get it to go, but it's chased down by Jermaine Harris.
10 offensive boards now for the Rams.
Just past double digits are the Rams, and rebounding. Another drive this time from Leggett. Couldn't get it to go, and a nice defensive stand from Carl Pierre will lead to another possession for UMass.
And Harris has really struggled tonight. Aside from, the play of Mitchell in the low post, the bigs for URI have really struggled between Harris and Martin. It's been a less than ideal night, and Johnson as well off the bench.
Great point. It's really opened the door for UMass's guards and other players to have a chance in this game. They're up by 2 points right now in the second half. Nearing 12 minutes to go in this one. Here's McCrory straight down the heart of the lane, all the way to the rim. He finishes it off, and he is really bringing the energy for UMass. Every player on the bench excited to see McCrory up to 11 points right now. Rams.
Fats Russell on the court now for URI.
Fats Russell back out there. Here's a three-point attempt from the left side. No good for the Rams. That take.
DJ Johnson again, just as we mentioned, is having struggled a little bit.
Here's McCrory again, driving baseline, contact, shot goes up, but it'll be called a charge. And as the UMass bench has been all night, they will not be happy to see that call. McCrory understanding that he's got the hot hand. You gotta go to him right now for UMass. 11 points for Cairo McCrory on 5 of 6 shooting. He has the 1-3 that he took, made it, 5 rebounds as well. Just can't say enough about what McCrory is doing right now for the Minutemen.
Absolutely. As I get set to craft my email, the UMass SID Matt Hoodie asking to speak to McCrory after the game. I'm sure I'm not alone. Frederick Hanna also in the building tonight for UMass.
The Daily Collegian's very own.
Yeah, absolutely. And McCrory, he's gone a little bit under the radar. UMass, when you have 2-star players like Noah Fernandez and Trey Mitchell, sometimes the limelight it doesn't quite always fall on younger guys. But McCrory having a breakout game tonight, crafting his star, and between McCrory and Garcia, that's 2 guys who could be around the A10 for a very long time.
Absolutely. You talk about the next phase for UMass with some of these younger players coming in, and with Trey Mitchell and Noah Fernandez being out, it only leaves an opportunity for someone to step up. Cairo McCrory, the guy doing that right now, leads the Minutemen in points with 11. Just 16 minutes played. He's just really having a great game.
And why don't we get a little bit into what's coming up for UMass? They've got a road matchup with Dayton, I believe, this coming Tuesday night. It'll be a tough matchup against a Flyers team who have had their ups and downs. They've had a COVID pause as well. Apologies. It'll be a home matchup on ESPN Plus against the Dayton Flyers this coming Tuesday at 7 p.m. And then they go on the road to VCU to play a makeup game that was originally scheduled for a couple of weeks ago. They postponed that one out of, quote, an abundance of caution before returning home to take on the high-flying Bonnies of St. Bonaventure pretty brutal stretch of 4 games. That's 4 games in 8 days against teams that are better than 500 in the A10.
Yeah, the upper echelon teams in the Atlantic 10, without a doubt. Like you say, VCU on the 12th. That game was just rescheduled. If you didn't hear, now you know. And yeah, I mean, Dayton, VCU, and St. Bonaventure up next for the Minutemen. The road does not get any easier after this, and a win against the Rams on the road without 2 of your more significant players would absolutely be huge for the Minutemen.
Yeah, and you have to think that, if you're Coach McCall, you want to win every single game, but even the most pragmatic of coaches wouldn't necessarily expect to win a game against a team like URI, down your 2 best players, playing for the second time in 4 nights. I mean, this is a really impressive effort so far, and frankly, it's a national TV game on ESPN2, and it feels like a national TV game. It
certainly does. And I mean, not only the players that are out with injuries, but how about the guys playing through injuries right now? Debaji Walker's on the court. He's dealing with a wrist injury. If you're watching it on television, you can see the brace on his left wrist, his dominant hand. Ronnie DeGray has been dealing with some things, I know.
Yeah,
Mark Casparini, up and down the list, everybody's dealing with something.
And Debaji Walker is actually going to need surgery when the season goes. Coach McCall has told us that he's basically pushing himself to the limit right now. Incredibly impressive effort so far.
More press from UMass, picking up full court. Fats Russell with a little float pass will get it over and then receive the ball back to set things up for his offense. 11 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in this second half. 53-49, UMass with the lead. As Fats Russell remains with the ball up top. He's going to drive through the heart of the zone, has it stolen away, and it's with Kyra McCrory, who probably had a chance to push it in transition. Instead, will slow things down. Now DeGray on the right wing has a chance to shoot the 3, just no good off the backside of the rim, and McCrory with an offensive board, spinning in the lane, using his pivot foot, kick out to Garcia. His 3 from the right side just rattles out, no good. So a couple opportunities for the Minutemen to hit a 3. They just don't fall. And it'll be the Rams back the other way. It's with Fats Russell. He passes over to Martin. Now to Antoine Walker near the foul line. Back to Fats Russell. The zone look from UMass this time. 2-3 right now. Debaji Walker's in the center, tipping one out. Carl Pierre's laying out for a loose ball and getting UMass an extra possession. That's just a captain-like play.
Absolutely. Incredible effort. And again, another offensive rebound last possession from McCrory. He has been all over the court tonight.
Here's Garcia passing to DeGray with a little momentum towards the rim. Couldn't get the shot to go. Was disrupted by Mekhi Mitchell. Now Fats Russell with a quick around the back move, driving to the rim. And he looks like he's floating in the air when he jumps towards the rim. It's just incredible.
And Fats Russell is an automatic bucket from the free throw line, shooting around 90% from the year. One of the best free throw shooters in the entire NCAA. And I don't mean to read too much into things, but he is coming back from a core injury. He's sort of bent over right now behind the free throw line. He might be feeling it a little bit. He didn't play too much in the first half, but he's already up to 20 minutes. And for a guy who's supposedly on a minutes restriction, if he makes it the rest of the game, I would be incredibly surprised.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Fats Russell dealing with what I believe was an ankle injury coming into this game. He's at the line right now, just made his first free throw. The foul was against Debaji Walker. And it's still a 3-point lead for UMass. They were just on a 7-0 run. I mentioned that the Rams went on a run. Now UMass goes on a run of their own. It's just been a back-and-forth game the whole time tonight, and there hasn't been much time for either team to slow things down in transition. Sorry, go ahead.
And absolutely, I mean, Fats Russell, as we just mentioned, he comes to the bench. Shepard replaces him. He looks like he's feeling it right now, and you don't want to see players get hurt. I mean, we know he's on a minutes restriction, but it looks like he's going right to the locker room right now.
So Nathan with a good eye. Fats Russell will head to the locker room for URI. UMass in the half-court offense with Garcia to Pierre to DeGray to McCrory. McCrory on the right side. Thought about driving baseline. Instead, he'll head to the middle of the paint. Now kicks out to DeGray in the corner. Could have shot a 3. Instead, they move it back around the perimeter. It's with Garcia on the left. Gets the screen from Walker. Walker slips the screen, and Garcia drives. Kicks to the corner. Pierre's 3 with the shot clock expiring is no good. And Javon Garcia was hit in the eye underneath the basket as he went for a rebound. He looks really hurt. And on the other end of the court, the Rams are finishing off a layup. Javon Garcia holding that left eye or ear.
I think he got poked in the eye. I'm a little surprised that the officials let play go on because he was clearly feeling it right from the beginning there. He's being tended to by the athletic training staff right now.
I don't even know if it's an eye because he's not putting his hand near his face as if he's trying to like it's itchy or annoyed, but he will head to the locker room as well.
So a couple of injuries on both sides right now as Russell is back out. on the court for URI.
Yeah, quick trip to the locker room from Fats Russell. He's back on the bench. UMass huddles up near mid-court during this injury timeout. The referees will try to put a halt to that and get them back out there for play. See Trey Mitchell in the huddle, of course, putting his 2 cents in. Couldn't play tonight, but still wants to have his impact felt. So as Javon Garcia heads to the locker room after being poked, Colton Mitchell will come in for UMass to run things at point.
Mitchell had a couple of lively possessions on the offensive side of things in that first half.
UMass in the half court with McCrory. They move it around. It's with Walker. Walker getting it back. He's in the lane. Gets fouled as he puts up the shot. It will not go, but he'll head to the line to shoot 2.
Good play there. URI was blitzing a lot of screens. It's something that Coach McCall has talked about that they do quite often. It's a staple of Coach Cox's defense. And the best response to that is to cut. And Walker found himself with a little 2-on-1 there, decided to take it himself. Couldn't finish through the harm, but gets a chance for 2 at the line. And it's really remarkable, you know, how similar these two teams have played so far. 23 of 52 from the field for UMass, 24 of 53 from the field for the Rams. 9 turnovers to 10 as well. I mean, it's
up and down the stat sheet. It's almost, completely even. Both teams about 45% field goal shooting. Both teams about 67% free throw shooting. Both teams about 10 turnovers. 26 rebounds for UMass, 33 for the Rams as Walker connects on makes both free throws to give UMass a 2-point lead. And he will come out after making those free throws. Mark Gasparini, after taking a little breather, will check back into the game. UMass still with the full court press as URI gets ready to inbound and try to break. Colton Mitchell, first line of defense on Leggett, gets him in the short corner, but Leggett will get some separation. Now has to throw the lob pass, still yet to get it over half court. They do now, and Colton Mitchell defending Leggett is going to get help from Carl Pierre, trying to make a trap. Instead of pass into the middle of the paint, has a shot blocked away by Mark Gasparini. Good defensive possession for UMass, and it's again Ronnie DeGray bringing the ball up the court for the Minutemen. Here he is crossing over and starting to drive backdoor pass, gets into Gasparini. His sky hook with the left hand is good.
Well, earlier I compared it to Michael Jordan when he took off for his dunk, but that was pure Hakeem Olajuwon.
We've heard about that Gasparini hook shot. We finally get to see it in a game. He gets that one to go and make it a 4-point lead for UMass. Just under 9 minutes to go in this game. Here's the ball with Antoine Walker. He goes up right away and can't get the shot to go, so a chance to extend the lead if you're the Minutemen. Colton Mitchell brings it over half court. Gets a screen from Gasparini and he hands off to DeGray. DeGray to McCrory on the right side. McCrory looking to drive. Nice ball handling. Has to pass it back. And they swing it over to Colton Mitchell. Mitchell's got space to drive. He finds Pierre open on the right wing. His 3 goes up and it goes down. The UMass bench is fired up.
And Carl Pierre hit that, staring Ishmael Leggett in the face. I mean, that's intensity right there for your captain.
An exclamation point on the 3 from Carl Pierre makes it a 7-point lead for UMass. And here's a try and an answer from Shepard. He couldn't get it, but an unbelievable rebound by Antoine Walker results in a second chance basket. Bring the lead to 5, and Rhode Island's going to call a timeout. Oh my goodness, Nathan.
Yeah, and URI called a timeout. We'll take it too. We've got a lot in store.
Yeah,
Still 8:14 to go in the second half. UMass up 5 at the 60-55 ball game. You're listening to WMUA Sports on 91.1 FM.
We welcome you back inside the Ryan Center in Kingston, Rhode Island. UMass taking on the URI Rams, and they're up by 5 points right now with 8 minutes and 14 seconds still to go in this game. It would really be an impressive win for them without Trey Mitchell and Noah Fernandez available today. They're still finding a way to get it done, but still some time left.
Absolutely, and a key factor so far tonight, points in the paint. URI, 46 of their 55 points have come in the paint. They still have yet to hit a three. They're 0 for 7 from behind the arc. UMass, 6 of 17. I mean, that's a massive swing. We know Mitchell is huge on the glass for URI, but if they can't connect from outside, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to hang with the offense the Minutemen have been rolling out so far.
Yeah, one of a few difference makers in this game, without a doubt. Another great point, Nathan. The Rams still without a three ball in this game. 0 of 7 as we resume play. The Rams picking up full court with his zone press of their own. Pierre's going to be wide open to step into a three on the left side. He knocks it down. Make it an 8-point lead.
Make it 4 of 7 from behind the arc for Carl Pierre. This looks like the Carl Pierre that we know and love.
Pierre catching fire. He's got 16. Rams back the other way. Leggett finding Walker in the paint. He passes back out. Over to Leggett again on the left side. Defended by DeGray. He gets past him. Drives in the lane. Shot no good, and it's rebounded by Mark Gasparini, who gets the ball to Colton Mitchell, but it slips through his hands and goes out of bounds. So, like you should, UMass just says, leave that one behind you. They continue to cheer on their guys from the bench as Colton Mitchell kind of just let that one slip through his fingers. Hard pill to swallow, I guess, if you're Colton Mitchell, but you just got to put it behind you. So the Rams, with an extra possession, they get it to Walker in the paint. He's going to work on Gasparini. Nice use of the pivot move. He spins around and gets it to go.
And Antoine Walker up to 24 points tonight.
Yeah, very
12
efficient.
12 of 16 from the field. That's a 75% clip.
Pierre had a chance to maybe take another open three. Instead, passes it up to try to drive. Now back up top to Colton Mitchell, defended by Fats Russell. He'll go to McCrory on the wing. McCrory passes to DeGray. And they move it around again. It's with Colton Mitchell. He's got space to drive, so he will. Has it swiped away by a slew of defenders. And it'll be out of bounds off Colton Mitchell's foot.
I think Coach McCall is looking to the bench. He's wondering if Javon Garcia is ready to come into the game. Looks like it'll be TJ Weeks who provide a different ball handling option for the Minutemen.
Yeah, and you talk about players being unavailable right now. As Colton Mitchell comes off the court, you've got TJ Weeks and Carl Pierre out there as your main guards. No true ball handler in this lineup for UMass as they try to continue this press defense. Rams break it. It's with Fats Russell. Shot clock under 20. He's at the top of the key. 2-3 zone for UMass. He floats one into Makai Mitchell near the elbow. Faces up. Might have been a travel. Instead, he tries the jump shot in the face of Gasparini. Can't make it. And Ronnie DeGray pulls down the board.
I have no idea how that wasn't a travel. I mean,
certainly looked like one. Here's McCrory receiving a pass, driving straight in and had it blocked away by Makai Mitchell, who met him in the air. So a little payback there for Makai Mitchell, that time blocking Cairo McCrory as Makai Mitchell gets the entry pass, going up against Gasparini, passes out to Shepard to Walker, who's cutting to the rim. That had to be an offensive foul, and it is.
That's another charge drawn by the Minutemen, another turnover for URI. Make it 12 on the night. They average about 15 per game, and discipline has been a huge issue so far. We haven't seen a lot of fouls called, but there's a certain sloppiness about this URI team, and we know Fats Russell is the glue that can hold this team together. They get him back out on the court now, but that carelessness has led to a number of points for UMass. We don't have we have points off the turnovers, but
who knows how exact that really is.
Yeah, exactly. But
and I mean,
UMass up 6 now. It's a big difference.
Absolutely. As we talked about, the Minutemen without any primary ball handlers right now as the Rams pick up in a full court press. Here's an extra pass from Cairo McCrory to Mark Gasparini. Gasparini's able to finish off the layup, and that's a moment where the press came back to bite the Rams. Just left things open on the rotations. A nice extra pass from McCrory results in an easy layup for Gasparini. The lead is up to 8 for UMass. Another turnover. And it'll end up in the hands of TJ Weeks, who moves things ahead to Ronnie DeGray. DeGray tries an errant bounce pass. It's stolen away by the Rams, and now back the other way come URI. Into the lane, fighting off defenders, and it's an offensive foul. Just when it looked like Jalen Carey was going to be going to line for an N1, they wave it off, and it'll be UMass ball.
Make it 5 fouls as well on URI, so we're approaching the time of the game when free throw shooting might come in. UMass has only committed 4 so far, and Coach McCall telling the bench to keep it under control. They don't want to get ahead of themselves, but an 8-point lead with 6 minutes to go is more than most UMass fans could hope for at this point.
You're absolutely right. We'll see if UMass can hang on. Ronnie DeGray continues to be the player to bring the ball up for UMass. As they have it on the perimeter. They're working it around. Pierre goes to McCrory. McCrory starts to drive with the left hand. Fakes a pass. Gathers himself. Has that one swatted back by Makai Mitchell, who is not allowing anything in his house right now. Loose shoe on the floor. McCrory picks it up and puts it on mid-play. Gasparini's receiving underneath. Gathering himself. Presence of mind to find the hoop. Puts the shot up. Couldn't get it to go. DeGray on the kick out. Will try a three from straight on. No good. And the Rams have pulled down the board. Fats Russell is already at the other end, passing it to Makai Mitchell for an easy layup. Before you can even blink, the Rams putting in an easy layup on the break. 6-point lead now for UMass. 5 minutes to go. Pierre loses his dribble out near half court, but he passes it off, so they move it around. It's with McCrory. Now to Gasparini. Gasparini to Pierre in the corner. Pierre sizing up, passes to Weeks. Weeks with a three that's contested. Won't go off the front iron. And so the Rams will bring it back the other way. It's with Jalen Carey. He passes. Top of the key. A three going up. No good off the back of the rim from Alan Bertrand. And a rebound from TJ Weeks.
Still yet to hit a three for URI. Almost 4/5 of the way into the game at this point. URI missing on even open looks there from Bertrand. We got another timeout. We'll keep it here. Getting to crunch time. UMass with a 6-point lead. I mean, aside from Antoine Walker, URI has really struggled scoring tonight. I mean, if you take away the 75% shooting for Walker, which, don't get me wrong, is outstanding, that would bring them down to 30% from the field.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It has come a lot from Antoine Walker, and it's not like he's doing anything over the top to score these baskets. It's just a matter of him being in the right place at the right time. Not only does he have 24 points, he's got 14 rebounds as well. So this guy is absolutely carrying the Rams to being in this game, down by 6 points.
And if you compare that to UMass, an incredibly balanced effort. 3 players in double figures. Carl Pierre with 16, and Kyra McCrory and Ryan DeGray the third, both with 11. Pierre has been heating up. I think it's probably been his best game of the season. And as we wait to see if Javon Garcia comes back from the locker room, it doesn't look like he has yet. So it might have spelled the end of the game for him. He might be in concussion protocol. He took a pretty big elbow. Yeah, he just is coming back to the bench now with a massive bandage on his face. That does not look good for him, but we get back underway here.
So Javon Garcia rejoins the bench, but still an unorthodox lineup that UMass will be going with. Haven't seen this lineup yet this year. Right now, DeGray is doing everything he can to try to get a pass to McCrory, but instead it's going to be a turnover. Rams will go back the other way with it. They just get it over half court. 3 going up quickly in transition from the corner, no good. So still yet to make a 3 are the Rams, but fighting for the offensive board are URI. They can't seem to put the second chance opportunity down. So still a 6-point lead for UMass, 4 minutes to go. They try to steal this one on the road at the Ryan Center in Kingston, Rhode Island. It's with McCrory right now, dribbling around the top of the key, looking for some help, gets it to Gasparini, who's trying to find a guard. He gets it to Pierre. Pierre off the handoff, has a hand in his face, but he tries the 3 from straight on, couldn't get it to go. Makai Mitchell there to disrupt that one. Now Makai Mitchell cherry picking down the other end. Fats Russell will throw it up to him, and underneath the basket will be a foul on UMass.
I think they're going to say he was in the restricted area. It was definitely a push-off, but if you're in the restricted area, you really just can't make contact as a defender. Pierre picks up his second of the game. 15 foul. We'll get another break, the under 4. We may as well take this one. It's the last. Oh, no, we'll keep it here. Just kidding.
Well, we'll keep it here. I mean, how about this pass from Fats Russell? We've seen that a couple times now where the Rams have just leaked out in transition. Makai Mitchell throws both his arms in the air, and Fats Russell, without any effort, throws a floated pass directly into the hands of Makai Mitchell, resulting in a chance for him to get to the free throw line. He has been really, really effective. Maybe not at scoring the ball today, he only has 8 points, and maybe the assists don't show it, but just his ability to force the ball in transition to players that don't have any space. It's resulted in some easy baskets for the Rams. I just thought I'd point that out.
Absolutely. And I will say, if there's one thing that UMass can hold their heads high about right now, it's they're 0 for their last 5 from the field. They haven't scored in 2.5 minutes, and they still have a 6-point lead. So credit to them for both the defensive intensity and, in a game, you'll go through hot runs. You'll go through cold runs. We saw Carl Pierre take over the game for a couple minutes earlier today. And right now, it's all about locking it down defensively, running your sets offensively, eating up a little bit more of the clock. And we know there's been a little bit of struggle so far for UMass when it comes to executing in the stretch, or in the clutch rather, this year. We saw them have a couple of tough late game runs against George Mason. We saw them, struggle a little bit against Northeastern, and they had the opportunity to clinch a win on the road. But if they can execute tonight, they will leave the Ryan Center, having really solidified their status as one of the better teams in the A10. Right now, they're bouncing between 3rd and 4th. Again, the uneven number of games played makes it change almost daily, but they look like they have found another level tonight.
No doubt about it. Yeah, the Minutemen have been a little bit better of a first-half team this year, but right now, trying to just hang on to this 6-point lead against the Rams at their place. 3 minutes, 41 seconds still to go in this one as we find ourselves in a timeout. Carl Pierre, scoring leader for the Minutemen, has 16 points right now on 4 of 8 from downtown. And on the other end, Antoine Walker paces things for the Rams, 24 points and 14 rebounds thus far.
Absolutely, and with 5 team fouls apiece, you get the sense this might be a long 3.5 minutes. Neither side at the bonus just yet. And free throw shooting has not exactly been Rhode Island's strength. They're 65% free throw shooting team, which I'm sure is aided by that 45% from the line of Mitchell, who gets to the line a lot. And for UMass, 73% from the line. A lot of that is due to Noah Fernandez, who's one of the best free throw shooters in the league. And he's obviously not playing tonight, so it'll be interesting to see without Javon Garcia who UMass puts the ball in the hands of when they come down the court late in this game.
Yeah, and it's interestingly been Ronnie DeGray bringing the ball up for UMass. I don't know if that's just a matchup thing where the player defending him won't have as much of a chance to steal it away, but he's been the guy bringing the ball over half court for UMass. So Makai Mitchell is at the line for some pretty important free throws, unsuccessful with the first attempt. Still a 6-point lead for UMass. But you're absolutely right, Nathan. Free throw shooting is going to come up instrumental down the stretch here in this game. Mitchell's second attempt will fall, make it a 5-point lead for the Minutemen. Full court press remains. It's with Ronnie DeGray. Getting some help from Cairo McCrory to get it over half court. And again, Ronnie DeGray, the one at the top with the ball for UMass, loses his dribble. He's going to pass it to Gasparini. Gasparini looking for the handoff with Pierre, gets it to him. They swing it around the other side. Weeks open on the left. Instead, he's going to pass. Still on the perimeter. They move it around with Pierre now, guarded by Leggett. One of the premier defenders in the A10 right now is Leggett. Here's Weeks, though, with a shot on the left side, and he gets it to go off balance.
I mean, that's exactly what you need if your coach recall. They used up 26 seconds on the shot clock, and Weeks was able to hit a difficult mid-range runner.
A huge shot from TJ Weeks brings him up to 6 points on the night. So the entry pass to Makai Mitchell is a little errant, but he does chase it down. Now back out to Walker. Will try his first 3 of the night. No good. Despite having 24 points, Antoine Walker unable to get the 3 ball to go. So still a 7-point lead as we're under 3 minutes here. And Ronnie DeGray, a little in and out move with his left hand, driving all the way to the rim, left-handed scoop layup, no good. Out to Pierre on the corner for the 3, and he splashes it. That is a huge shot
from Carl Pierre. The captain hits his 5th 3 of the game, and 10-point lead with 2.5 to go. Even the unluckiest team in the country in UMass would be incredibly unlucky to let this one slip.
You make a great point there, Nathan. That could be the dagger in this game, especially after that miss from Makai Mitchell underneath. UMass will have the basketball back, and all they have to do at this point is just chew the clock with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go. They have a 10-point lead. It's back with a hot hand from Carlo Pierre, who passes it off to Gasparini. Now with TJ Weeks at the top, defended by Leggett. Over to Pierre, entry pass to McCrory, back out to Gasparini, he'll try a 3, he knocks it down! Uncle Mark Gasparini puts the ice on this one.
And the fans are off their seats, the media is off their seats. That is the biggest shot of Gasparini's UMass career by far. 13-point lead for the Minutemen.
Another 3 will not fall for URI. It's Ishmael Leggett missing that one. Mark Gasparini on the last possession, knocking it down to give UMass the 13-point lead with 1.5 minutes to go. And this one looks like it's all but done for as Ronnie DeGray moves things around at the top of the key. It's with Pierre. Still on the perimeter, it's with Weeks now off a handoff from Gasparini. He starts to drive over to Pierre. He'll try another 3. Why not? He airballs it, but Gasparini's there for the follow. Oh my goodness, you can't write this stuff.
And Rhode Island have absolutely fallen apart at the seams, making a 10-0 run for the Minutemen. As Walker finally misses a shot. But 15-point lead, a minute even to go, and the Minutemen are going to stroll out of Kingston, Rhode Island with a marquee win.
Yeah. 15-point lead right now with a minute to go. Not over just yet, but all signs pointing to a road win for UMass in a season sweep of the Rams. And you see the excitement on the UMass bench. It's Trey Mitchell and Noah Fernandez, two guys that couldn't play today, still have been cheering their teammates on the whole game.
And it looks like Coach McCall is going to take a timeout after the first free throw here to settle things down a little bit. Or after the second free throw, perhaps, to advance the ball.
First free throw from Antoine Walker does fall, so he continues to have a very, very stellar game. Might have to look into whether or not he's chasing a career high. He's got 25 points and 14 rebounds. Second free throw falls as well. And about a minute ago, it was Mark Gasparini knocking down a huge three at the top of the key to put this one out of reach for the Rams. The center playing in the shoes of Trey Mitchell tonight. Graduate student, transfer from American University, Mark Gasparini, coined Uncle Mark on this team for being the oldest player in the locker room. Hits a huge three.
11-5 on the night for Gasparini, 11-11 for McCrory, and 19-5-5 for Carl Pierre, who delivered a captain's classic performance tonight, representing for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Maybe one of his biggest wins in his career.
Certainly could be looked at it that way, as Ronnie DeGray is still at the top of the key, dribbling things out. Gets past Walker, but he circles back to waste some more time. McCrory tried to dunk it on Makai Mitchell because he can do that, but he had it swatted away. Fats Russell goes down, almost an and one as he's fouled on the drive, but his layup rolls out. And just some postponement to the end of this game as Fats Russell goes to the line. Absolutely. And I know that is a trigger word, so I'm sorry. I know.
It's okay. You said postponement, and I said absolutely. So two things that we probably want to avoid. But Russell, he's looking to get in double digits, but I have to wonder if Coach Cox is going to tell his team to foul with 30 seconds left. UMass might be able to dribble out the clock as Fats Russell, a rarity, a missed free throw. The story of this game for URI, though, has to be the three-point shooting. 0 of 10 from behind the arc compared to 9 of 24 for UMass. That's a 27-point swing, and it's not only points that those threes put on the board, it's momentum. It gave UMass the energy to finish this game on an extreme high.
Certainly, as UMass inbounds the ball to the free throw, they have to get it over half court. And a very, very smart timeout from Coach Matt McCall because it looked like we were getting ready for a 10-second violation. He smartly calls a timeout. Yeah. UMass will have a chance to talk things over.
And, we just saw Mark Gasparini give a little chest bump to Trey Mitchell on the sidelines with DeAndre Dominguez, a little Senators Union there. But we talked about how UMass has had a little bit of a hard time finishing down the stretch in a couple of games this year, and frankly throughout the Coach McCall era. But Rhode Island, no field goals in the last 5 minutes of this one. One of their last 8, UMass absolutely pulled away during crunch time today. And what more could you ask for in terms of building momentum heading into the most difficult week of the season to date?
Yeah, really just put the emphasis at the end of this one, did UMass, and we were talking about it. They've been more of a first-half team this season, but a very, very strong second half, and this one has them just 20 seconds away from a victory on the road against Rhode Island, 75-63. We go back to the stats again. Pierre now with 19 points. He's leading all Minutemen. Antoine Walker with a game-high 26 points and 14 rebounds. But on the UMass side of things, a few players outside of Pierre breaking 10. You got DeGray with 11, Gasparini with 11, and McCrory with 11. McCrory also pulling down 11 boards, so that'll be his first career double-double. You might expect to hear from him in the post-game press conference, or we might.
What a game, though. What a performance. I think it's interesting. A lot of the times under Coach McCall, the Minutemen have played slightly down to their opposition at times, especially in games where we might think that they don't have the greatest chance of winning. I mean, again, there's only a 22% chance of winning that Ken Tom gave them tonight. But whatever Coach McCall said on the bus ride down here, Maybe it's the Peter Pan buses, but it worked.
That was Peter Pan.
This team is headed to Neverland, Neverland, if you will.
Yeah, and I think you really could just see it from the jump, the amount of energy that UMass is playing with. The bench is really, you haven't even seen a player sit down since the opening tip. Everybody's been cheering from the sideline and bringing the energy. The press defense has been there the whole game. So just a well-fought effort for UMass tonight as they get it over half court. You have to think they might just dribble this one out as it's a 12-point lead, and that they will. DeGray will be the one dribbling it around. He was the primary ball handler today, so I guess that's fitting. As the clock ticks down, that will do it. UMass will go on the road without Trey Mitchell, without Noah Fernandez, and get a 12-point victory over the Rhode Island Rams, 75-63 here from the Ryan Center, and that brings the series to 91-67 in advantage of UMass, a series that dates all the way back to 1908. New England rivalry here that has really grown over the years. UMass, though, taking the season sweep of this series as well after that win earlier on. They get the second win against Rhode Island. And it'll be a nice bus ride home back to UMass after this one.
Absolutely, and with the snow coming in, Super Bowl Sunday tomorrow, I bet the Coach McCall will reward the team with a nice little day off. They have absolutely earned it, winning in dominating fashion tonight. And even when the times got tough for UMass, you have to say that they really rose to the occasion in a way that we haven't seen from them a lot this year, but a really, really good demonstration of how this team can rise through adversity, missing their two-star players and absolutely dominating their team's harshest rival on the court, away no less.
Yeah, an unbelievable performance from the Minutemen. And how about just really quickly, maybe you give me a player of the game, someone that really stood out for you tonight. I think in my mind, it has to be Cairo McCrory, 11 points and 11 rebounds. What do you think was so impressive about Cairo tonight?
Just the intensity. I mean, the intensity, the will. Even when the shots weren't falling for him, he was the creator of so many of those second chance points for UMass. He was able to go up and get, I think, 3 offensive rebounds in the second half alone. And those are run-sustaining plays. And that's something that UMass has desperately needed. We know they have the best rebounding team. We know they don't have that much size, especially without Trey Mitchell. And running 4 guards, or 4 small, basically, that's just exactly what you need. McCrory, he hasn't been averaging too many minutes per game, but I guarantee you he has earned his way into the starting lineup for Tuesday night's game against the Flyers.
Absolutely. Cairo McCrory with a double-double, his first career double-double, 11 points and 11 rebounds tonight. As finally we get some serenity inside the Ryan Center. The crowd noise turned off, but we're going to go ahead and sign off here for the broadcast. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Nathan, for you, for traveling down with me to do this game. It's been a lot of fun. Maybe not the orthodox way that we're used to, but we still got it done. So for everybody, just us, actually. That's our whole crew here. We're going to sign off for 91.1 FM WMUA Sports. This has been the YouTube stream. But until next time, thanks for tuning in.